Hello?
Hey, sorry I'm late.
No worries. Just turn the sound down so that you're more audible. Clear the screen. Okay. We are ready to start.
You hear my super loud washer in the background, unfortunately?
I do not.
Oh, good.
Okay. So, first up is the base Dart Monkey Tower. And, I gave it an A. Um, I think it's a very, very good, like, starting tower. A lot of games, the whatever thing they give you to start with is usually, like, extra garbage to make sure that you're impressed by the upgrades of other stuff. But, like, Dart Monkeys are legit pretty strong on their own. I mean, moderate range for a tower, um, decent attack speed, and they pierce too with their shots. Like, it's a really, really good base tower.
Agreed. I think I said B plus, just because it's a good base tower, but I never. Well, I was gonna say I never not upgraded, but sometimes I forget.
Then the top path upgrade is Ultra Juggernaut. Um, I gave this one a B plus because it made the Juggernaut upgrade actually useful for the first time since that's been an upgrade for Dart Monkeys. Uh, in Bloons, I think 3, or is it 4? I think 3 is when they introduced the Spike-a-Pult upgrade, and it slows the attack speed, slightly increases the range, and has more pierce, and that was just garbage. In 3, 4, and 5, it was just a fairly useless upgrade. And then in this one, the Ultra Juggernaut can pop leads, it does extra damage to ceramics, the Ultra Juggernaut basically just one-shots ceramics and fires really quickly, so it's actually useful.
You're saying the ultra. Okay, so when you get up to T5 top path, you can hit ceramics and leads.
The T4 actually hits leads and does extra damage to ceramics, but the T5 does so much more damage.
T5 does so much damage. Okay. What did I say? I said, oh, I'm reading yours. B minus. B minus. Yeah, I don't like this one as much, and I don't frequently upgrade to this other than in a straight line. But even then, with the introduction of the Dartling Gunner, I tend to use that instead.
Yeah.
But still solid. Yeah, B minus.
Then we have the Plasma Monkey Fan Club. I gave it a C. It's so expensive. I mean, I should have done this on medium so I could see the actual prices. I think it's like 4,500 gold on medium for a tower that is extremely weak except for the few seconds when its activated ability is going. I'd really rather just have a Super Monkey and upgrade it to Plasma. For that 45,000, you could buy like 4 or 5 Super Monkeys who are firing Plasma all the time with higher range.
Oh, I get it. 45, 45. Okay.
Yeah. So it's okay. It's a cool idea. I just realized that he's literally wearing his underwear outside his pants for a superhero costume. Um, I think it's a funny idea. I think it is the next logical step behind Super Monkey Fan Club. I'm just not. I literally only ever build this when I'm going for the Paragon.
Oh, because you have to have. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, same TBH. It says I'm having connections issues. Am I garbled?
No, you sound fine.
Okay. So what did you say? C. I put B plus for the meme setup. That doesn't make sense. I don't think I think you had to show me that the ability earns other T3 or below towers, right?
Uh, tier 2 or below dart monkeys,
Oh,
or
that's even worse.
middle path dart monkeys. So like his
That's even
ability,
worse.
yeah, once you upgrade to the catapult or the crossbow, he won't target those anymore. Um, but if you have, like a tier 4 and activate his ability, then he will transform that one as well.
Okay, I take it back. B minus. I like the meme setup, but like I never get a chance to do it because I always forget, and like it is very expensive. But in theory, I like it. I guess when you have like when you're doing Goth Sun God setup and you have like tons of money and you get the free Dart Monkeys, that's pretty fun.
Yeah. Then we have the crossbow master, who brings it back up to an A for me. This is one of the best things I've ever done with Dart Monkey. I love that it is one of the strongest tier 5 towers for a decent price. I mean, it doesn't come anywhere close to like the Flying Fortress or anything, but you can afford a crossbow master before round 63 and it'll carry you past round 80. So I like that the most basic tower has one of the most useful tier 5s to get.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I said A minus. I like that you can have two. That's you have to have the monkey knowledge though. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, but still, so I like that you can have two. I didn't realize how big the range gets. Like when
Oh
you upgrade
yeah.
it all the way.
Yeah, and if you um so that's base Dart Monkey range. Then upgrade it all the way. It's bigger than Super Monkey, and then you can enhance it further. This covers the whole map. And
It, it's bigger than Super Monkey. How does it work?
because of the primary expertise, Monkey Village increases the range of primary towers, and he counts as a primary tower. So if you have him in range of that, he gets massive range. Like Super Monkeys can't reach that far.
Um, what am I trying to say? Um, primary. So you're talking if you put a monkey village next to him and go top path monkey village, that gives more of an upgrade than just putting down the village. Like it gives
Correct.
you even more. Okay.
Yeah, the primary training, which is the tier 3 top path, gives more range. Primary mentoring gives even more range. Oh, that's it. Okay. So yeah, the tier 4 and tier 5 top paths both increase range.
Both increase range. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, and it's for primary. Okay.
yeah, you can see the difference between them. So this is one without the buffs down here, and that's one with the buffs. See, it's a pretty huge difference.
Is that's the monkey village is the only one that increases the range of towers, right? Like obviously alchemist and okay.
Alchemist does increase the range, so you can actually make it
Oh,
even
it
further when it's
does.
buffed. Yeah, look at that.
Well, that is the whole max day.
Oops.
What did I say for this one? A minus, yeah. pretty good. I try to remember to use it more because like you can have two, you know, that's so helpful. But I
Yeah.
always forget.
All right. Up next is the boomerang thrower. I will forever miss the lightsaber thrower upgrade that they used to have.
Lightsaber thrower upgrade.
Yeah, that admittedly was a little bit of copyright infringement, so they couldn't keep that. But it was a Jedi monkey.
That's
Um,
so funny. What game is that in?
I think it's in 4, but it might be 5.
Four. Okay.
I think it's 4.
Oh, I was gonna ask if it's in five.
No, they got rid of it after the one game it was in. Um, I gave this tower a B. It's not super great on its own without any upgrades, but it's also very cheap. Um, you know what? I'm gonna get out of this and go to medium, so we're looking at the actual prices. There we go. Yeah, so it's only a little bit more expensive than the Dart Monkey. It's got the same Pierce, but it has more range, and the fact that the boomerang, goes in a circle means it can. You don't just have to have it on a straight path. You could put one in the loop here and have it still get full Pierce. So I think B. I think it's a solid tower.
I put C just because I don't think I understand how to utilize this tower very well. Because it doesn't, even with its upgrades, you can't get camo, right? I guess you can get leads. But to me, it's like, why would I use this when I could just use the Dart Monkey? So I put C, but mostly out of user error. Like I don't understand it. Even with the Paragon recently.
Yeah, what I mostly use these guys for, in primary only games is lead popping power.
Lead popping, and that's bottom path.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, okay, so top path is the Glaive Lord. This one is S tier for me. I love the Glaive Lord. I love the permanent spinning glaives. I love how they speed up when balloons get close. You can see they go faster to show that they're being hit. And I love the whole glaive ricochet thing. Pretty much all of top path is really cool to me. I love the bouncing glaives that get maximum use, pierce, and everything. So that's definitely an S tier for me.
Without any upgrades, can top back hit anything special? Did I say that right?
So it cannot target camo balloons, but if you look, camo balloons that run into its spinning glaives still get hit.
Yes. Okay.
So it is a way to damage camo without camo detection. I don't think it can do anything to lead. No, yeah, it can't damage lead.
Can't damage lead. Okay. Yeah, for that I put C plus because I remember asking you this. Do you need like Etienne or a Monkey Village for it to be able to hit camo? But I do like it. Like it looks really cool, and I like the glaives. Are we? Quick side note: we're not rating the pair.
We can. I can't create the paragons in
Oh,
Sandbox
dark.
though.
Yeah, that's true.
Though my overall rating for paragons is overpriced.
Oh no.
Okay, next is permacharge. I give it a B. It's all right. I I like the super fast attack speed. I think that's cool, but its ability feels so unimpactful because it's already attacking super fast and the ability doesn't actually increase the attack speed. It just like increases its damage or something. Um, I'm actually gonna knock it down to a C plus now that I think about it, because honestly, I like the super fast attack speed, but I find the ability very like uninteresting. It does make a fun
What
noise
is
though.
it? What is it supposed to do? I do not understand this path. Like
It just
it
attacks super fast.
okay, but it's not like I guess same question with this middle path. It it can't detect camo or lead on its own.
Correct. Yeah.
Dang,
You
yeah,
you
D.
you would have to cross path it with bottom path for it to damage leads.
You have to cross. Okay, I get that. Oh no. Goodbye.
Um, then we have bottom path, Moab domination. Uh, I give it, I give that one a B. It's a very useful upgrade, very strong. Um, I also like that it's Australian, throwing an Australian boomerang. Um, so it's a solid tier 5 upgrade. I don't think it's overpriced because of how powerful the Moab knockback is. I think it's a well balanced tower.
I gave it a what did I say? C plus. Yeah, I think this is probably my favorite of the what's it called? Boomerang monkey upgrades. Um just because like you said, it not only can it actually hit camo and or lead without, a buff, I guess is that the right way to say it? But
Yeah.
also the using it against Moabs is actually really powerful, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. Then we have the bomb tower. The first one that I rate unfavorably. Bomb tower gets a D from me. I have always disliked bomb towers since their first introduction. They are slow, they are loud, they can miss, and the explosion is so small that it just doesn't feel like it's even an explosion. It's just a D tower. If you're buying a bomb tower, you're better off waiting until you have the money to buy a couple upgrades in addition to it, because just buying the tower itself, it's terrible.
Oh, okay. Okay, I appreciate that. Yeah, because the bomb tower itself, I guess what did I say? C plus. I do like it because it can, even though it can miss, it can hit leads, right? Without any buffs.
It can, but then it can't pop the black balloons inside.
It can, but it can't. Wow, this thing is useless. But I agree with you in that like I only ever buy it and upgrade it right away. So I'm gonna say C plus.
Okay. The first tier 5 is Bloon Crush. I give it a C. I didn't really have anything to say about it. It's cool that it stuns Moabs. But I don't know, it just feels like it's a really strong bomb tower. To me.
Yeah, what did I say? C plus? Am I? No. Bloon Crush. B minus minus minus. I think I did that because I wanted to give it higher than a C because I do like this upgrade. I like that it stuns Bloons. And I like the tier 5, but I literally never get it unless I'm like doing my uh, tier 5 super monkey setup, right?
Mm-hmm. Wow, it also does not do a lot of damage. Look how long it takes to take out those Moabs.
Trying its best, Claire.
Then we have Moab Eliminator. I give it a C plus. It is the logical upgrade to the Moab Mauler, and I like Moab Maulers. I like that the cooldown is so short. Like the Moab Mauler has a decent cooldown, and then this one has like half the cooldown. So it feels right for a tier 5 version of the Moab Mauler, but it's still kind of boring to me, so I still give it a C plus.
I'm gonna say C minus just because I don't. Yeah, it's supposed to be super strong against Moabs, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Maybe because it goes from being a cannon, that like it loses style points in my opinion. I never use this path.
It is strong enough to one-shot a ZOMG, but it doesn't destroy everything inside the ZOMG.
Oops. It doesn't. Okay.
And it has no splash. The ability has no splash, so it like you'll use it once and that pops as a UMG, then you use it again and that will take out one of the BFBs, even though the BFBs are all stacked on top of each other.
Yeah, do you use this one frequently?
No, not really.
Same.
I'll use it in primary only if I'm trying to get to round 100 on a whim. I'll use it in chimps. I won't use the tier 5 in chimps. I'll use the Moab Mauler, or Moab Assassin rather, in chimps. If I'm like don't know what to spend my money on. But yeah, I basically never build this.
Same.
The last one is Bomb Blitz, which I give a C. I also never build this. Abilities that trigger on lives lost. I'm not super fond of those because most of the time when I'm losing lives, like by the time I've got tier 5 towers out, if I'm losing lives, I'm leaking like an entire Moab and dying. I'm not leaking, 1 or 2 Bloons or anything like that.
I'm the opposite. This thing has saved me several times, so I give it a B plus. I think I used to always do top path upgrade for when I would buy the bomb shooter, but recently I feel like bottom path is sort of it's.
Then we have the tack shooter. I give the tack shooter an A. I don't know why. I just think they're neat. I don't know. I just like tack shooters. They're pretty terrible. Base. They've been pretty terrible in every game they've been in, except 4, which added the Ring of Fire, which was the first time they actually became useful. And then they were okay in 5, and then they're, with the tier 5 upgrades, they're pretty strong in this. But the base tower is pretty garbage. I just like them.
Yeah, I see. C is what we do for take it or leave it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, take it or leave it. I like the concept, and for maps that have loops, I usually put a couple down, but they can't hit any. They can't hit camos or lets, right? So,
Correct.
geez.
And then the first tier 5 is Inferno Ring. I give Inferno Ring a C plus because the animation sucks. It's a good tower. It's a good tower. It's very strong. It can pop leads. It has that giant fireball. It is global range, but the animation of it firing is just so like blink and you'll miss it. Like it's so nothing. It doesn't feel like a giant, inferno. It just feels like little cartoon flames shooting out the side. It's better than it used to be, I'll give it that. It used to be a lot worse, but it's still not very good.
The animation.
Yeah. And if you increase its range, like the animation doesn't scale properly with it.
You increase its range.
Like the range of the tower, the fire that comes out of it. See, it doesn't actually reach the edges anymore. The fire didn't get bigger. The fire is still only going like halfway to the edge of the circle.
Yeah. I didn't. Okay, when you were talking about the animation, I thought you meant just like the fire coming out, not the big ring. And I was like, well, that's kind of nitpicky, but I mean, I guess I see it. But now I actually see what you're talking about. But to your point, like blink and you'll miss it. I didn't realize that that was a thing until now.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. I feel like they could have done a better job with this.
Yeah, I'm gonna say B minus. It probably is my favorite of the upgrades, aka least useless, but I never get it up to tier 5, which I feel like is probably the most useful, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, B minus.
Then we have the Super Maelstrom, which B minus. This is pure meme tier. This tower is so useless, but it's just fun to fill the screen with saw blades. And it has such a short cooldown.
Oh, go ahead.
It has such a short cooldown.
Oh, the ability.
Yeah. And you can make it even shorter. Like this, and then put an energizer down. Look how fast that cools down. There's only like 2 seconds where it's not firing if you're constantly using the ability.
It doesn't do anything special though, right? Like, no camo, no leads. It's just
right.
saw blades, yay!
Yep. Just fill the screen. And I mean, to be fair, they do a lot of damage. But I mean, who cares? They do a lot of damage, but it is like it's like a discount Sky Shredder that you have to constantly the top path tier 5 airplane.
Top 5 tier. Okay, I know what you're referring to.
It's like a discount one of those where it's not quite as strong. You have to constantly spam click the ability to have it go off. It's not going the full time, and it doesn't have the anti-Moab missiles. But it's cheaper.
Yeah, I just don't like this one. What did I say? Yeah, D minus seems useless. I stand by that.
That's fair. I literally only ever build this when I spam this and a whole bunch of regular Maelstroms and just constantly spam the abilities just for the memes. The tack zone is an A. It used to be an an A plus or an S for me, but then they hyper nerfed its range. It used to have like crossbow monkey range, so like this is
What?
what its range used to be, and they decided it was too powerful, so now it has 0 range upgrades from the base tower. Well, it has a little bit more range than the base tower, but it's just like terrible, terrible range. It's incredibly powerful, but only for such a tiny radius that it's just not as useful as it used to be.
Yeah, I put C. I do like it, but you're right. The range seems really short. It's kind of like Pat Fusty, pretty strong, but tiny, very low range, and therefore mostly useless.
Except this one's actually good.
Bite me, Flair. Bite me. That is the hill I will die on.
Up next are the ice monkeys. Base, I give it a C. The base ice monkey is better than it used to be because it actually does damage. It used to not do damage, which made it you literally couldn't start a game with an ice monkey because they cost too much and they didn't do damage. You would die before you could get something out that actually did damage. I also find them frustrating because frozen balloons are immune to sharp objects. So if you're using an ice monkey, there's a lot of other towers you can't use in conjunction with it unless you go top path or get an MIB. These guys make dart monkeys completely useless.
Because dart monkeys can't shoot frozen balloons.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So I give them a C. They're a cool idea, but a little too annoying to use as the base towers. I only buy them when I'm planning to when I already have the money to upgrade them basically to tier 4 or tier 5.
Yes.
Or when I'm trying to freeze the water.
Yeah, I mean, I made this as a comment for all of the ice towers, but I still don't fully understand how to use ice towers other than like you were talking about middle path to put things on the water. Like you mentioned the top path can damage balloons or no? I'm still confused about that.
Okay, so all the paths all the base ice tower can damage balloons.
Okay.
Like here, if I throw some red balloons, they pop them. The tier 4 upgrade for top path applies a debuff to any balloons it hits that causes them to be brittle, which means they can be damaged by any damage type. So when you get tier 4 top path and start freezing balloons, dart monkeys can damage them.
Okay.
They're sharp damage.
Okay. I still put C minus. The low rating is purely out of spite because I don't understand them. It's not you, it's me.
Top Path Ice Tower is S tier. I love this upgrade. I think the animation is super cool. He slams his fist down to freeze the balloons. And it's the super brittle upgrade. So this is the one, tier 4 is brittle, which causes the balloons to be weakened. They take extra damage and can be damaged by any damage type. Super brittle causes the balloons to take massive extra damage and affects Moab class balloons, including bads. So even though it can't freeze or slow down the bad, it causes the bad to take massive extra damage whenever it gets hit.
Okay.
So this is definitely S tier for me. I love the animation, and like slamming his fist down to freeze the balloons. I think it's cool that he debuffs them. I just think it's a really, really good tier 5.
I put C because I understand, like, because I always see Blaze use all three tier 5 ice towers, right? And it seems to
Mhm.
work really well for her. I just, I cannot understand it. Like, there's like a mental block in getting how they work. But I acknowledge that, I mean, tier 5, come on. I was like, not going to be powerful, right? What are you, the saw blade attack shooter? Um, so I guess C. I what do you recommend is like a good way to learn how to use the ice towers? Like go into easy and just use them? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Um, I'm not sure that there is anything you're missing on understanding how to use them. Like, you put them down and they freeze and slow balloons in their radius.
Yes.
That's the extent of it. Um, the using the three different kinds, that's because each tier 5 performs a different function and they don't overlap. So there's no, it's not like you're putting three glue gunners next to each other where their glue overrides each other and it doesn't work.
Yes. Yep.
Each ice tower is freezing either different balloons or is doing something different with its freeze. So they can all cluster together and still be useful.
I where I get confused is I guess it's other than top path, which makes it brittle, which makes any tower be able to hit them. Um, most towers can't hit frozen, right?
Any towers that are using sharp damage. Um, the way that I look at it is if the tower can damage leads, it can damage frozen.
Oh, okay.
So
And
fire, explosions,
yeah, okay. That's what I was
acid,
gonna ask.
that kind of thing. Yeah. Most magic, I think, can damage frozen balloons, even if it can't damage leads. Like I think the wizard monkey's attacks might be able to damage frozen. I don't really have a way to check it because all the balloons are going to be brittle by this one. Um, but yeah, pretty much any if the tower can damage lead, it can damage frozen.
That's the tower. Okay. That helps. Okay. Perfect. So as you, I think I'm still gonna stick with C.
Up next, we have uh, Absolute Zero, which used to be my favorite, but now I give it a C. Um, it feels in Bloons. So in Bloons Tower Defense 5, Arctic Wind, which was the upgrade below Absolute Zero, Snowstorm, the upgrade below Absolute Zero because it didn't have tier 5s, was one of the most powerful towers because it could slow Moabs in its radius. Moabs going through its radius were slowed down. The ability was fine, it was a panic button, whatever. But the fact that it slowed Moabs was a big deal because nothing else in the game slowed Moabs.
Not even glue.
Not even glue. Glue couldn't target Moabs at all, I think. Not even acidic glue, I don't think, could target Moabs.
Okay.
Um, so it was extremely powerful. And then in Bloons Tower Defense 6, they added the other two tier 5s, and they're so much more powerful than this one that it feels left behind to me. I give it a C because I basically never build this unless I'm trying to freeze water. That's the only time I ever build this tower because I would just rather have the other two ice monkeys. It's good at stopping swarms of balloons, but a lot of my other favorite towers are also good at stopping swarms of balloons, so it's an overlap. Like if you're building, a glaive lord, you don't need absolute zero. It they are they perform the exact same function, wiping out swarms of balloons. So it's just I just basically never build it.
Honestly, same. Yeah, I'm actually gonna say C plus because of the water trick. I remember when you told me about that, I was like so excited. And I was gonna build the chain, and then I was gonna remove the like first one and watch all the towers disappear. Like meaning, right? C plus for that, but I almost never use it.
Yeah. One benefit to building this, so they've actually made the ice tower synergize with each other to make it beneficial to build all three. Because not only will the super brittle cause the bottom path to do even more damage to Moabs, but when you activate the absolute zero ability, it greatly increases the attack speed of all ice monkeys for the duration.
With all ice monkeys within radius or on the map?
On the map, all ice
Whoa.
monkeys.
Okay.
So when you do that, they all get buffed for extra attack speed. Um, so it is useful in that regard, but I kind of feel like if you're depending on ice monkeys for damage, you probably built wrong. Um, the final one is Icicle Impale. I give this one a B. It works on Moabs. It completely immobilizes Moabs and obliterates pretty much anything other than a bad without any issue, as long as you give it camo detection and go top path. So, oh yeah, actually you can just go top path now because Cold Snap gives camo detection, and it can with that it can wipe out DDTs without any issue.
That's a 205.
Yes, yeah, you have to have the Cold Snap ability. Cold Snap used to be called Metal Freeze. In the most recent update, they changed it to Cold Snap because they added the camo detection to it.
Okay. Oh, okay. And that you're when you say most recent upgrade, that's like Sawdust skin. We just got that upgrade.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I would say okay. So when I was trying to, it sounds a little bit weird, but like teach myself how to use ice towers, I found myself using this one the most because it has a gun, and that's like that made sense to me. Um, but I appreciate this one, but I didn't realize I can do camo now. That's exciting.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna stick with C though until I use it more.
Next we have Glue Gunners. A tier. I like that they. I like towers that slow. Um, I like the Glue Gunner isn't very good on its own, but I like that it's literally just spraying glue on balloons. Which balloons float. It doesn't actually make any sense, but I like it for the humor. I like the glue monkey. Um,
Well, it's the same as the what is it? The Spike Factory, right? Loose
yeah,
floats.
yeah. It makes no sense, but it's in there anyway. Um, I don't know if it's a subtle reference to Gorilla Glue, but I like to think it is.
Oh.
But yeah, I like glue monkeys, so I give them an
What did I say? I said C plus. Yeah. I like I noticed like when Insanity started playing, he was like glue plus dart best strat, and I was like, I mean, you're not wrong.
A. Yeah, yeah. Glue gunners are they're a really good tower to build because they're fairly cheap early. They let you pop leads if you go top path, and the upgrades after that are fairly expensive, but it scales pretty well into the late game.
It's scale in that the game assumes you've got um like banana farms to be able to make that money, and you need that high level of damage.
Yeah, well, even if you don't have banana farms, like the glue splatter 1800 gold is pretty expensive at like round 20 or 30, but by round 50 That's not that. That's maybe like 2 rounds to save up for that, which isn't so bad. And then glue
Right.
hose is
Okay.
just a few rounds to save up for. So the tier 3 and tier 4 upgrades, and then glue splatter also, are fairly expensive early game, but in the late game they're not that expensive to save up for, and they do a lot of work for what you're paying for. They're good value.
Okay. What did I say? Base, yeah, C plus.
Then we have top path, the balloon solver, because solvent and balloon's a problem. Here's the solution, because it's a solution of glue. So the puns alone
No.
warrant an A tier. But I love the hyperspeed damage of the acid glue. Like at this point, it's not even glue; it's just acid. Sure, it technically slows the balloons down, but like anything short of a Moab disappears instantly, just gone. I also like the biggest problem with going top path is you struggle to hit a lot of clustered balloons, but the tier 5 gives it such high attack speed that that's not as much of a problem. Like if I send 99 ceramics with 0 spacing, it will probably get all of them when they go back around. Yeah, it got all of them. No problem.
And top path can only hit Moabs if you cross it with bottom path, or do you need a whatchamacallit? Monkey Village.
It can always hit Moabs because it
Can always hit.
yeah, it doesn't slow the Moabs, but it does hit them for damage. It applies the damage over time.
Okay. What did I put? A minus? I do like this one. I didn't make the connection with the pun, so maybe A minus minus. But I do like this one, and I would say until realizing the utility of the other paths, I almost exclusively use this.
Same. Yeah. In Bloons Tower Defense 5, when you couldn't glue Moabs, I liked Glue Gunner and I wanted to use this top path, but it was so useless because in the late game you needed a way to take out Moabs. But now that it can damage Moabs, it's really good. Up next is Glue Storm, the middle path. I give this a C. I'm actually going to knock that down to a D+.
Oh no.
So it was a C because I found this a fairly bland upgrade. I could take it or leave it. It slowed pretty much any balloon that came across it, except for Moabs. If you cross-pathed it with top path, it would also apply a weak damage over time. That was decent. And then it also, when you go tier 5, it also weakens balloons. But it's an activated ability, so you have to use it for it to actually make balloons take extra damage. So that was kind of a for me. I could take it or leave it. But then I remembered the tentacles that flail around uncomfortably for way too long after the ability's done. That knocks it down to a D+. That was so unnecessary.
Yeah, I never use this. What did I put? C? Because I never use it. Like, I don't even know enough about it to be able to comment on it. Is there anything special about it? Because, like we were talking about, top path is basically acid, bottom path, Moabs, middle path, uncomfortable.
Yes. So this is it's the same as the middle path, the Absolute Zero Ice Tower.
Okay.
It's really good at taking, or at slowing, not taking out, but slowing giant swarms of balloons.
Okay, yes.
So again, I don't use it very much because I like other towers that do that, so they kind of make it pointless. The other good thing it does is, like the top path ice tower, the glue that is applied from its ability causes Bloons to take extra damage, including Moabs, as long as you cross path it with top path so it can actually hit the Moabs, because if you don't give it the damage over time, the glue ability won't hit Moabs. But if you cross path it with top path, it causes Moabs, including bads, to take extra damage, which is, whoops, I did not mean to send that. But that is very, very good for long, late round free play.
So, does that's also a good one to use for boss Bloons when they like blow up and become a bunch of little Bloons.
Yeah.
I wish I had known that strat because I feel like that's what always got me.
Yeah, this one is good for rush rounds, like round 63 or 76, and for Lunarius rushes. You don't have to go to tier 5 or even tier 4. The tier 3 is good enough for that, as long as the Bloons are in range of it. Because it fires so quickly, and it slows the Bloons.
Can you make a challenge for yourself? Like if I want to make myself use these towers more often, I have to. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
if you want to make a challenge map that requires you to use these towers, you can do that. Since you have to play the challenge to upload it, you can just make the challenge and then play it and then not upload it.
you can just make the challenge. Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I follow that.
Then we have super glue. So I used to think super glue was a colossal waste of time. Because like when I first started playing this game, I was like, oh, cool, it slows down Moabs, but like the ice tower does that too, so I'd rather just have the ice tower. I have completely 180'd on that. I love super glue. It is an A+ tier for me. I love that it basically immobilizes Moabs. It immobilizes any Bloons it hits. And Relentless Glue is an amazing upgrade. Bloons that have glue on them that are popped leave that glue on the track for other Bloons, including camos, to run over and pick up and get glued by.
Okay. Including cam.
Yeah, even though the tower can't detect camos, if you pop a Bloon and it leaves glue on the track and then a camo runs over that glue, the camo gets glued.
Okay.
Because of that, because as long as you're popping the Bloons, the glue spreads among them pretty much infinitely, which means once you have Relentless Glue, it's gluing almost as many Bloons as the middle path glue gunner does. But it glues them even harder because it's the super strong sticky glue. Plus, the game doesn't tell you this, but the super glue, when it targets Moabs, the actual tier 5 one, it fires a projectile that does damage. It does like 50 damage per shot in addition to the glue damage over time effect if you give it top path. I think it actually has a damage over time effect even if you don't give it top path, a very, very weak one, like 1 pop per second or something.
Every little bit counts?
Yeah. Or maybe not 1 pop per second. I think it's like 1 per 3 seconds. What's the corrosive glue? 1 layer every few seconds. So it's a little bit weaker than corrosive glue. But yeah, every little bit counts. And like I'll send a bad and you can see how many pops it gets. If it'll, yeah. So you see it's doing 50 damage per shot and then also extra little bit over time. which 50 damage isn't a lot to a bad, but it does wipe out a Moab without too much trouble, especially because it's freezing it in place.
Yeah, I with the event going on and like going doing impopable a lot, I like this one a lot too. But I don't use it as often as I should. I think just because maybe I overestimate how useful it is. So I will say C plus.
Oh, we are done with primary towers. On to military.
This is a good section.
Yeah. So first up is the sniper tower. I give it an A. I like the global range. I like that it does 2 layers per shot by default. I think it's a really great tower to put down early, just for when you're struggling to find good placement. This thing doesn't need good placement as long as there aren't obstacles in the way. So definitely A tier.
Yeah, I put A minus. I really like it. I feel like I always use the sniper.
Yeah. Okay. Cripple Moab, the top path. I like the stunning Moab Bloons, the May Moab, which used to be called Cripple Moab in 5, was one of the strongest abilities. The fact that it stunned a Moab. And then Cripple Moab causes them to take extra damage. So that combined with Super Brittle and Glue Storm, you can make Moabs take such ridiculous amounts of extra damage that even bads just melt when previously they would have just rolled past your defenses. So
Does that work on boss balloons as well?
Yes. Yeah,
Ooh.
it applies to boss balloons. So I give it a B. Just because it's a little I never build Cripple Moab unless I'm going for late stage free play. Because prior to that, you don't really need the extra damage, and the stun is all you need. So I give it a B just because I don't really build it much.
Aw, I give it an A. I always have at least 2 4-2-0 snipers when there's no Etienne. I think even without Etienne, even with Etienne, I have 2-4-0-2 instead of 4-2-0.
We have Middle Path, literally just called Elite Sniper. That's very imaginative, naming convention. I also give this one a B. The money, I don't really care about that much. I mean, it's decent money, but I don't usually build this upgrade until I don't really care about money anyway. I love 2-3-0 snipers, the bouncing bullet with extra damage.
Okay.
When I'm playing on, that's my strategy when I play chimps, is 2-3-0 snipers. They're extremely strong. 2 of them with an alchemist can easily clear round 63 without any trouble.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, they are very, very strong. So the tier 5, I don't build it often, and when I do, it's usually to buff the tier 5 top path in late stage free play. Also, the elite targeting priority, I don't care about it at all. Like, it used to be terrible. It used to be actively worse than other targeting priorities because it didn't react properly. So what elite is supposed to do is you target the strongest balloon on screen until the balloons get to a certain point, and then you switch to first. So that way you're targeting the strongest balloon, but if balloons start to get close to leaking, it instead switches to first to stop them from leaking.
Yes.
The problem was when this first came out is it didn't switch fast enough.
It is. Oh, so like by the time it realized that it needed to switch, you were pretty much dead.
Yeah, balloons. It would switch in time for the balloons to leave the screen, basically.
So you can watch your doom.
So they fixed it, so now it works properly. But still, when I upgrade this guy, he automatically gets set to elite, and then I forget about him completely. And I never manually change any of my other snipers to elite.
What holy crap.
You okay?
It sounds like someone's trying to break in. Hold on 1 second. No one's trying to break in that I can tell. I think probably something just fell over. No windows are broken. We're good. Let's keep going. For middle path, what did I say? I said B minus. Yeah, I'll say a B minus. Bonus points for camo. Lose points because, like you were talking about, like the money upgrade I don't use, and I feel like it's a waste of tier 4 and tier 5. B minus.
Then we have bottom path tier 5 Elite Defender. I used to love Elite Defender. I thought it was so cool having this basically machine gun sniper. I love the ridiculously high attack speed. And then I started paying attention to the numbers at the end of a game. This guy fucking sucks.
R.I.P.
His pop count is garbage compared to the other two. Like, it's just awful. And I've tried switching him to elite or strong or first. It's garbage no matter what you put him on. He's just weak. He's very underpowered compared to the other two. So I give him a D+. Plus, he's got the whole lost life. Increases attack speed by 4 times for a short time. But again, by the time I have a tier 5 out, if I'm losing a life, I'm probably leaking, a ZOMG or a bad. And I'm dead anyway.
Yeah, so I put B plus just because I do still like it. But you're right, it is super weak, which is a bummer. I don't know, I like it because you can kind of see, I don't know, is it called the animation? You can see how fast it fires, and to me that's like, oh, it's so fun to watch. Doing work, but just don't look at the numbers.
Yeah, that's he would have been A tier for me if I hadn't ever looked at the numbers, because I do like the animation of just the muzzle fire and everything. And it's really fun on maps with like multiple tracks where he's just like freaking out, spinning around, shooting everything. But he's just not very good. Then we have the monkey sub. It's a little crowded over here. I gave the base monkey sub a C+. It's not very strong. It's got moderate range. It's basically a dart monkey, but with a homing dart, which is alright. And he's not very expensive or anything. But I'm never putting down a sub to use the base sub. I'm always putting it down with the plan to upgrade it immediately to
Yes.
level 2 top path.
Put base C plus. Yeah, I If I don't have an upgraded sub, it means I forgot.
Um, Top path is the Energizer. This is just an extremely useful tower. I love getting tier 4 top path for revealing camo and doing a lot of damage. Um, and then for late game, like late game free play, I always get an Energizer for the cooldown reduction. Um, I have once or twice used the Energizer, gotten the Energizer early enough that my hero was not already level 20, and then managed to actually have placed my hero in a spot where the Energizer can reach it. But it's not worth it. The bonus hero XP is kind of pointless, but the global cooldown reduction, and the cooldown reduction from water-based towers is really good.
See, I'm gonna bump that to an A minus. A minus, yeah. I 402 on any and every map with any slightest bit of water.
Yep.
So very, very good tower.
And we have. Ugh. This is another D. Preemptive strike. So. I guess this is a little unfair. I give it a D because ballistic missile is complete and utter trash. Ballistic missile is an F tier upgrade. Completely. It does garbage damage. It says it does extra damage to Moab and ceramic, but it does like 1 extra damage.
1 is more than 0.
So it does like 2 or 3 damage to Moabs and ceramics versus just 1 damage. Like it's awful, and it fires slowly. You can give it global range, sure, but like giving this global range versus just having a Moab Mauler on the track, the Moab Mauler will do more damage. The tier 3 Moab Mauler will deal more damage, even if you are firing the ballistic missile the whole time. When you get to tier 4, ballistic missile is still garbage, but first strike is incredibly powerful. And then preemptive strike still has the first strike ability, is still very powerful. Automatically triggers a powerful missile attack whenever Moab class balloons spawn from the entrance. Looks cool, looks very flashy. It's firing its missile at hyper speed, but it's not actually doing all that much damage. Again, it looks flashier than it is, basically. So I give it a D for being kind of a waste of money.
I'd say C minus. Yeah, I used to always do. Well, it would be 240 until you pointed out that the bottom one was actually better, and now I literally never use middle path. It's always 402 or 204.
Yep.
So C minus, I guess.
Yeah, I never use middle path for anything. Then we have the tier 5 bottom path, sub commander. I give him a C+. He's kind of boring. It's cool that he buffs all subs in his radius, or with the monkey knowledge, all subs on the map. But he just kind of feels like a worse top path boat. So just kind of meh on him. C+.
Yeah, I said C plus as well, just because if I'm gonna give middle path C minus, this one deserves a C plus, but because it is better, but still typically only do 402, right? Yes.
Yeah. Can I fit 3 boats in here? Yes. Oh, they're going to overlap something fierce, though. Base Monkey Buccaneer. I give it a B+. I think it is a stronger tower. It is slightly overpowered for its price. Its dart, I think, can pierce 5 balloons. It can shoot out of both sides at once. Um, and it's not very expensive. It fires at a decent speed. The limitation being it can only be placed on water, so there's some maps where you can't use it at all. So I give it a. I've already forgotten. B plus. Yeah, I give it a B plus. Just because it's a decent tower.
Yeah, I put B. Is that right? Yes. B, because you can't get to the pirate ship without the base. So it's pretty decent, like you said, but I like the pirate better.
So the first tier 5 is the carrier flagship, which I think is an awesome upgrade. I loved the aircraft carrier in Bloons Tower Defense 5. The only problem with it is it lost its regular boat attack when you upgraded it. They fixed that in this version so it keeps the regular boat attack. Which means it's incredibly powerful. This is one of the strongest tier 5 upgrades in the game.
Really?
Straight up, yeah. It has global range. It does a ton of damage. It has anti-Moab damage. And it can buff. It's one of the few towers that can directly buff the avatar of the Vengeful Monkey. So it's
directly. Even if you don't put it on water, because I remember watching you use the ice tower to build the sun god onto water, making it a water tower, and then use this, right?
yes. So you do have to build the avatar on water, but if you do, then this directly buffs it and increases its attack speed.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with B. You know what? Okay, I know why. Because middle path gives you fire, which you can hit leads, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bottom path gives you camo. If you upgrade top path, you lose one of those unless you have a monkey village.
Yeah. That is true. But I think it's worth it for the high power that it provides. Up next is Pirate Lord. A little hard to see. I'm gonna sell the other boats so you can see this one. There we go. I also give the Pirate Lord an A plus. Yeah. The design is awesome. I love the ghost ship setup. I love that it can take down ZOMGs. And upgrading to this tier also gives it extremely fast attack speed, so it's also very, very strong in and of itself. So A plus, I like building these. I don't build them a whole lot, but when I do build them, it's because I like it and want to build one, not because I feel like, oh, I have to build this or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna change mine to an A minus because this one's pretty fun. We learned during the drawing stream that I have no idea what it looks like apparently, but I still stand by my statement.
And then the bottom path, Trade Empire. In and of itself, kind of boring, but it and the tier 4s below it are a strong alternative to banana farms, and I like that that's an option. That on maps where you have water but don't have a lot of land, or just when you don't really want to build banana farms because they don't do anything other than provide money, you can build bottom path boats and still get more money than you know what to do with, but they also actually shoot. So it's
They
a B for
also
me.
actually. Oh, they do actually shoot. Okay.
Yeah.
What did I say? B minus. I've recently come to appreciate the utility of these because whenever we would play Spice Islands, I would put down what's it called, wraps and banana farms instead of using these, which is kind of, I mean, it gets you there, right? But you could just use a merchant.
Yeah.
So B minus, B half a minus. If we keep going, I'm just gonna keep going, making it higher.
B 1/4 of a minus. Next is the monkey ace. Hang on. Gotta get creative with the placement of these.
Wait, can you, in what's it called mode? Can you put down a raft? AKA use powers? Yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I think, yeah, you can... Oh,
Not a
you
raft, a
can't.
pool thingy.
You cannot use powers.
Oh,
Hey, thanks for follow, Cam. How's it going? Yeah, looks like you can't use powers.
that's the name of my old boss. Probably not my old boss on Twitch, though, just for the record.
I give this tower a B. By itself, it's kind of it's heavily RNG. If you start a map building one of these, you're just as likely to clear all the balloons as you are to leak some. But I like that it's a flying tower that you can change the patterns, or if you have the monkey knowledge, just give it wing monkey, which is incredibly powerful. I do miss the Bloons Tower Defense 4, where they didn't have the landing strip, so you could literally place infinite of these on the map. But I understand why they changed that. It was slightly overpowered.
It didn't have a landing strip, so how would you just place the plane and it flies?
Yep. And since it didn't take up space, you could just keep placing planes in the same spot infinitely.
Seems like a bug.
It would certainly lag out the game after a while, that's for sure.
I put B half a minus. Yeah, these are really helpful. Beginning game when there's like hedge or something where there's a ton of obstacles, barriers, obstacles.
Yeah. Yeah, the fact that they can hit over obstacles without any trouble is makes them extremely useful. Top path is the Sky Shredder, which I'm sad that they got rid of. So you might see that my comment is our darts will blot out the sun. That's
I was wondering about that.
That's what Operation Dartstorm's description used to be in Bloons Tower Defense 5, was our darts will blot out the sun. They elected not to keep that. But I like Sky Shredder a lot. It's an A tier. I love the just absurd fire rate and number of darts just spraying out in all directions. I like the anti-Moab missiles, how strong they are. I think the current description is still a what is it? The Sparta movie?
Oh, this is Sparta? I know what you're referring to.
I believe it's still a reference to that, but it's not our darts will blot out the sun, sadly.
B half a plus. I used to like this one a lot because it was the cheapest upgrade. But that probably also means it's the least powerful, right?
It depends on if you're spamming the ability for the middle path or not.
Oh.
If you're spamming the ability for middle path, then this is probably the weakest. But if you're only using the middle path ability for emergencies, this is going to get more pops.
Get more. Okay.
Of course, that leads us to the middle path, the Tsar Bomba upgrade. Kind of memey, but very fun to use. It literally wipes the screen of anything short of a bad.
Lord of a bat. Wait. Oh, that's tier 5.
Yeah. So, like, if I send 100 ZOMGs, all clustered right there, and then use Tsar Bomba. Oh, it doesn't wipe them. Oh. Well, there it goes. I had to use it twice. But it's obscenely powerful. It's extremely overpriced, but I mean, it's basically a Super Monkey Storm for free. Anytime you use the ability, it just clears the screen. So it's fun. I've done maps where I've literally just filled the ground with ground zeros and Tsar Bombas, and then hooked up spider bots to them, so they were all just constantly using their abilities. And it was hilarious. It didn't last very long. I only made it like round 140 or something.
Right.
But it was hilarious seeing all the explosions. Also, hi, Yubi Kid. How's it going?
It's you, big kid. You get your burger, is what I want to know.
I think she ordered Greek food instead. Yeah, because
Oh.
we both, that was the funny thing. We both decided to order food because she mentioned burgers, and then we were both like, that sounds so good, we should order burgers. And then I ordered Mexican and she ordered Greek.
Oh.
So neither of us ended up getting burgers.
Whoops.
It's going great. How are you guys? Doing pretty good. Raiding Bloons Tower Defense Towers. It is pretty fun.
What did we say? I said B. I'm gonna guess that says B half a plus. Seems slightly OP. I feel like I always get up to tier 4 and then never quite prioritize getting up to tier 5. So I don't know. I'm not super familiar with tier 5.
It's just a stronger tier 4, basically.
Okay.
So I would say it's kind of like the Bloon Master Alchemist. It's obscenely powerful, but the cooldown is so long that I mean, it's not going to carry the game for you. It's a very good emergency button.
Okay.
Basically. And then we have the second strongest tier 5 upgrade in the game, the Flying Fortress. This thing is so overpowered. Oh my god. It's an A+ tier. It's OP as hell. It costs $90,000 and is worth every penny.
This is one of the more expensive ones, right?
Yes. It is one of the more expensive upgrades. On a regular, on pretty much any map, because of its global range and because it can be buffed, it's gonna get more pops than a Dart Monkey or Boomerang Thrower Paragon.
Makes sense.
So it is the second most powerful upgrade in the game, in my opinion. The only thing stronger than it is the Sun God.
What did I say? A-. Yeah, this is a fun tower. Has it always been that powerful, or was it buffed recently? Because I feel like... Okay.
It's always been that powerful. It actually got slightly nerfed recently.
Oh no!
They reduced the damage of its explosions slightly. Because, I mean, no one ever builds it 0-5. They always build it 2-0-5 for the rapid fire. So they wanted to give people a reason to give it the exploding pineapple upgrade and the camo detection. So if you go 0-5, its explosions are stronger. But if you go 205, its explosions are weaker than they used to be. But it's still, I mean, it's overpowered as hell. Look at that. Just look at that. Oh god, I sent 100 bads. Whoops. I meant to send one bad.
Oh, did you?
Let's clear that and send one bad instead.
That's funny.
I also like that it's just so enormously big. The one downside it has is, unless you go middle path, it can't detect camo, and it can't damage DDTs at all without an MIB.
Even with middle path, it can't damage DDTs. Is that right?
Correct, because DDTs are immune to explosions and sharp things, and that's what it fires. Oh, okay, apparently it can damage DDTs. Because it's definitely damaging them. It's not, I guess they've given it normal damage, which can damage anything. But logically, it shouldn't be able to damage DDTs. The tier 4 certainly can't. Up next.
Oh
yeah.
Oh, sorry, I already gave my rating.
Next is the Helipilot, which I'm going to lock these guys in place above their platforms. So the base Helipilot, I give a B. I think it's kind of fun that it follows your mouse, but that's really honestly more annoying to deal with than anything else. I basically never have it follow mouse. I lock it in somewhere until I give it pursuit. But I think it's still worth a B.
I'd put C just because I guess I didn't think to lock it, but I do get annoyed that it follows the mouse. So like technically it has the map wide range, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's following your mouse or it's locked, so it doesn't have map wide range. Like, see, if I get this tower, it's to upgrade it.
Yeah, same. There's a couple maps where I get this early, because it's really hard. Like muddy puddles, this tower is really good because it's hard to get coverage for the map, but this thing can fly between the different paths fast enough to be useful.
Okay.
Top path is the Apache Prime, which I give a B. It's just an extremely powerful tower. Well worth the price. Shoots lasers, darts, and missiles, so it can damage anything. Even if it doesn't have the typical tier 5 can damage anything up modifier, it can still damage anything. It can detect camo if you cross path it with middle path, but I usually cross path it with bottom path to give it the faster firing. And use a monkey village. Plus, it still has the razor rotors, which are really strong.
What did I say? I'm not on mute, am I?
No, you're not.
I'm having issues. Okay. I said C plus. Yeah, pursuit. Well, you know what? I'm gonna upgrade that to a B minus because pursuit alone, worth it.
Yeah.
I feel like the upgrades are very expensive, which I get thrown off a little bit. But I like pursuit. I always put it on my helicopters because I really don't know how to use them without.
Yeah. Pursuit is a very big thing. Makes them so much easier to use. Up next is the Special Poperations, which is hilarious naming. I don't build this one very much. I give it a B plus. because it's got really good utility. If you have the monkey knowledge, it's got 4 separate abilities. It can pick up and redeploy towers to move them around the map, which is incredibly useful. You can get a tier 5 alchemist and move him around the map so that your entire map is buffed with him.
Oh, that's smart.
It drops health crates and money crates, and due to the recent update, it now drops both at the same time, just with a little bit lesser value. It used to drop them, like it would drop the money crate, then it would drop the health crate on the next use of the ability, and then switch back and forth.
Oh,
But
okay.
that made it pretty annoying on Impoppable, where the health crates did nothing, so literally half the time you used the ability, it didn't do anything. So now, every time you use the ability, you get a little bit of money. Not as much as it used to, but still, you're getting money every time you use the ability.
That does you have to have the monkey knowledge for that or no?
That one does not require monkey knowledge.
It's not. Okay.
That's just a base ability. Then it's got the special operations ability where it drops a little kind of like sniper. This guy is basically a bottom path tier 4 sniper, except he shoots darts. But I guess he's basically just like a base super monkey. Let me get a bat on the screen so you can see him actually shoot at it. Yeah, he just fires rapid fire darts, and he does a lot of damage. I mean, he's already done 8,000 damage. He's very, very powerful, has a decent cooldown. So that is an actually useful ability. And then, if you have the monkey knowledge, the fact that this tower can pick up other tier 4 towers and hold them to fire from it, basically giving any tower you want global range, is so incredibly broken. Pick up a tier 4 bottom path super monkey and it just obliterates everything.
Oh, that's the helicopter plus Batman strat.
Yes.
Okay. See, this really put... Okay, I don't think I have any of the monkey knowledge for this, which I gotta fix, because I have a bunch of knowledge points. I might just not have the cash, because I'm at the bottom where you have to have cash, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with that, I feel like I never, ever, ever, ever use middle path. And also, it looks like a flying hoagie. So aesthetically, it's a little bit not as fun as the other tiers.
Yeah.
So C minus.
Yeah, he doesn't look quite as cool. He's a Chinook. And then bottom path tier 5 is Comanche Commander. I used to not care about this upgrade at all, but then I started using it for the Moab shove ability, and I just really like this guy. I like this upgrade. The mini Comanches. I guess you can't see them. Oh, there they are. Yeah, the little mini helicopters. Even if you have this helicopter locked in place, even if you don't give it pursuit, the mini ones have the pursuit ability.
Oh.
They also apparently fire missiles, which I never realized. So even if you don't give this guy, even though this guy doesn't by default have missile or lead popping capabilities, the little ones, the little helicopters do have lead power. And I like the shape of it, kind of like the Apache Prime. It's just a very like powerful looking helicopter.
I put C plus. That's low. I'll put B minus. No, B half a minus. Because it's cheaper to get to tier 4 compared to top path, right?
Yes.
And then it also does the Moab shove, which has helped me out quite a bit.
Yeah. And if you get the middle path upgrades, if you cross path it with middle, its Moab shove is even stronger. And you can lock it in place and it will just hold Moabs off.
Oh. Oh, that's funny.
That's something that I've been doing with it more and more is buying multiples of these, the tier 4s, and locking them at places on the map where there's a lot of overlap, and just watching the Moabs run into them and stop completely.
Do you think, or maybe I should ask, in prior games, did they have skins for the towers?
In Bloons Tower Defense 5, they added microtransaction skins for the towers, but I've never purchased any.
Okay. Aw, so that's like completely gone from 6 then.
As far as I know, yeah. But I'm okay
So I
with
was
that.
gonna say, oh,
Because
yeah, the microtransactions dislike, but I wouldn't mind making some of these towers look different. I know that's mean.
if they put them in the trophy shop, I'd be all for it. But if they require
Oh.
real life money, no thanks. Okay. So, Mortar Monkey, Base Tower, I give it a C. Global range is nice, but it is so very weak and difficult to micro as the base tower that I, unless I'm on the ice flow map where I'm trying to break the cave monkey out, I literally never buy the mortar tower unless I'm upgrading it immediately.
Yeah, I put what I put. B. I think I put B just because I like the idea of a mortar. It seems fun. But you're right, it is. I always buy it to upgrade.
Top path mortar, the biggest one. C plus, kind of boring. I mean, it's a cool big explosion, but that's literally all it is. It's just a gigantic explosion. It's strong. It's decently balanced price wise, but I don't really ever look forward to getting this. It's just kind of like, I guess a mortar's good on this map. I'll get it. So it's a C plus for me.
Yeah, I put B. Not super excited. I don't know that I use this one anymore. It's always middle or bottom. I think, yeah, B finally makes it.
Middle path is hilarious. B, it's just silly fun. I love the ridiculous attack speed. I love the global damage and stun from its ability. I like that the tier 4 middle path ability now boosts its attack speed even more. It doesn't do this to the tier 5. For some reason they decided not to carry it over, but if you watch his hand spamming the button when I activate the ability, let me aim him so you can see his hand better. Whoops, that's... There you go. You can see his hand vibrating, and then rapid fire. It's just a blur.
He's. Oh, you're saying the middle path, he pushes a button instead of does like the pumping?
Yeah, and if you see, he's already hitting the button really, really fast. For the one up here. You can see he's hitting the button, and then when you activate the ability and he goes into hyperspeed attack, that's me playing a clicker game. But the tier 5, I like it. It's silly fun. I like the triple shot battery. The Papana ability is good. I think it's a solid B.
Yeah, I put B plus. It's super fun. I like the animation.
Yeah. And then bottom path, Blue Incineration. I gave this one a B. It is deceptively powerful. Um, the fact that it removes, well, for one thing, its damage is already really high, and the fire that it leaves behind is extremely powerful. But it also removes reinforcement from everything below a ZOMG, which is a massive amount of damage, basically. It's just wiping out fully like half of their health from reinforced balloons by removing the reinforcement every shot.
The reinforcement is like the belt that the balloons wear, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I said B. Yeah, I gave this a B because I always get it confused with bomb shooter bottom path, and I'm always like confused when I leak a balloon and it doesn't wipe the screen. um, I do like this one. Maybe I'll say B half a plus. Half a plus. I do like this one better than top path, not as much as middle path.
Yeah. Oh, here it is. I'm actually going to put these guys vertically so we can see their shots. So the Dartling Gunner is, and has been for a long time, my favorite tower in Bloons, by far. I loved them when they were introduced in 4. I loved them in 5, and I continue to love them in 6. Dartling Gunner is awesome. S+++ for me.
I'm actually gonna edit mine to B plus. Yeah, they're pretty. I'm glad they were put in the game because I remember you saying they were your favorite, and I only had Bloons 6 and definitely didn't unlock it in 5. They're so expensive though. I get why they are, but they're very expensive, so that's points off.
Yeah, that's fair. So the top path, Ray of Doom, is ridiculous. A plus because it's extremely powerful. It doesn't have the infinite pierce that it had in 5. It in fact has fairly limited pierce when you're looking at like free play, which is, I mean, this thing costs, how much is it? Like 195,000. It costs more than a Flying Fortress. But it is incredibly powerful if you have a long straight path like on this map. It's really good. So A plus, it looks badass as hell. I mean, look at this giant machine firing the beam of death. So A plus tier.
I'm gonna say A minus. It's probably it's probably my second favorite of the upgrades. It is, like you said, very ridiculous. Yeah, it's very expensive too. That's the other thing. A minus.
Yeah. All the tier 5 upgrades for Dartling Gunner are very pricey. The middle path, the MAD. I I give it an A plus because it's very cool. I like this giant robo suit that's shooting missiles. I like that it has a robo monkey tail for no reason. But it stops feeling like a Dartling gunner as much because it's firing giant missiles instead of a swarm of smaller missiles. And I mean, it has the activated ability, which is that giant cone, which is a swarm of smaller missiles. Also, you might notice my missiles are eggs. That's, I have that upgrade. They don't normally look like eggs; they look like missiles. But it, I like it. It's a cool upgrade, A plus, but it would be an S if it felt more like a Dartling gunner.
I put B because this is my least favorite of the upgrades. I cannot get over the eggs. That's a trophy shop thing or?
Yeah, it's a trophy
Okay.
shot upgrade.
Dude, is there a pumpkin one?
No.
There should be. Okay. Yeah, B. B. It's my least favorite. I don't know why. It's just not as cool, I guess. It's the least cool. Therefore, it's the least favorite.
And then we have this one. Oh, you can really see the range. This is the Bloon exclusion zone, and it is a D minus for me. Because as soon as you turn it into the buckshot upgrade, it stops being a Dartling gunner. Like, what makes a Dartling gunner to me, and I've gone on this rant before, I'm going to do it again, is fast firing shots, like rapid fire spray of shots, and target it either locked in a location or following your mouse, but either way, going in a line forward. And buckshot changes it from fast firing spray of shots to a shotgun blast. And then the tier 4 Bloon area denial system, it no longer goes in a line. It has multiple turrets that aim independently. It no longer follows your mouse or follows a set. I mean, you can still have it follow your mouse, but that's so much worse than letting it target independently. Like, it's not a Dartling gunner anymore. And it doesn't even have global range. You can see it's got half the range that it used to have. Like, it's just not a Dartling gunner anymore, and for that, it's a D minus. If this were a brand new type of tower, the monkey turret or something, I'd be all for it. But for this to be one of the Dartling gunner upgrades, I am extremely disappointed and unhappy with it.
I feel really bad because everything that you said that you dislike about it is what I like about it. Well, that's not true. I don't like the reduced range. But the fact that it can target independent, I appreciate that. I guess B half a plus because it is my second favorite. I already forgot if I said the top half was second or first favorite. Anyway, B half a plus. So honestly, solely for the target independent. Probably second favorite. But I guess what do you envision for a if they moved this to like a turret tower, what would you envision for a third upgrade for the Dartling gunner? Does that make sense? Yes.
Probably something focused on keeping it darts, but maybe increasing their pierce. Well, I don't know. Maybe just something that increases the attack speed to ridiculous numbers. Like, the top path is the pierce path. It has as high pierce as you're ever going to get for anything in the game. The middle path is the missiles, fast firing missiles, and I would like it to be faster firing smaller missiles. And then the bottom path could stay with darts, but have them be fire so quickly that it's like the bottom path sniper, like those ridiculous speeds of firing darts. I think I would prefer that.
That would be pretty fun. You could have, yeah, you could have really, really fast, and maybe like, is there anything special about the bottom path sniper other than the speed?
No, he just
Oh,
attacks
okay.
faster and faster and faster. Like it's literally faster firing, even faster firing, semi-automatic attacks 3 times as fast, full auto rifle attacks 4 times as fast, elite defender attacks even faster.
Speed. Um, yeah, be half a plus. I I will say I typically only ever use hot path upgrade.
Sorry, could you say that again?
Oh, I was just saying for Dartling Gunner, I typically only ever use top path upgrade,
Oh,
because it's the best and most expensive. But if I had to rate the bottom one, be half a plus.
I honestly use all three fairly frequently, but when I'm wanting to build Dartling Gunners, I use top and middle path. I use bottom path when it's a map that like I want to stick something in the middle and have it shoot all around. Because like this, again, it is a strong tower. Place this in the center of this map and it does a ton of damage. It's extremely powerful. It just doesn't feel like a Dartling Gunner. So I don't build it when a Dartling Gunner is what I want. I build it when this is what I want.
That makes sense. Okay.
We are done with military towers.
Noise.
Only 2 sections left, and they are smaller. Military was the biggest section.
Oh, that's why it's in medium difficulty, because you have the most. Oh, that just like totally clicked for me. Because you have like primary only in easy, and then military only in medium, and then magic only in hard. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so we have the Wizard Monkey, which I give an A. I think he's a cool tower. I think he's a cool design. I like that he shoots magic and wears a cute little hat and robe. He puts on his robe and wizard hat. He's basically a dart monkey. Like he fires a single projectile that pierces 2 balloons. But just the potential for his upgrades and everything, and his design, I like the Monkey Apprentice or Wizard Monkey. I always call them Monkey Apprentice because in everything leading up to Bloons Tower Defense 5, they were Monkey Apprentice, but in this they're called Wizard Monkey.
They got an upgrade. They got a promotion, finally.
Yeah, I guess it didn't make sense to have the tier 5 Grandmaster Wizard be or Archmage be Monkey Apprentice.
I was gonna ask, can Wizard no upgrade hit leads?
They cannot pop leads.
Really? Okay. Open can, but Open's a hero.
Correct.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm still gonna go with A. Yeah, I feel like I don't really know how to play a map without using a wizard.
They can pop frozen balloons.
Without any upgrades?
Correct. So that is confirmed. But yeah, in Bloons Tower Defense 5, they could pop leads, but in 6, they made it so that the regular magic attacks cannot.
Okay.
Then we have the Archmage, which is an S tier for me, because for a couple things. One, he's the first semi-Paragon tower, because what makes the Archmage so strong is he gets the tier 3 ability from the other 2 paths. So the tier 3 middle path is a flamethrower, and the Archmage gets a flamethrower. The tier 3 bottom path is Shimmer, which reveals camo balloons in a radius. He gets Shimmer and uses it even though he himself can't detect camo. He'll still trigger Shimmer when camos are nearby, and then he can hit them. But on top of that, he's a nod to the Wizard Lord from the Bloons Tower Defense 5 special mission, which I love that special mission, and his design is basically that same design. And the Wizard Lord from that special mission was a combination of the tier 4 top and bottom paths. So again, that Paragon concept in practice. So I really, really like it.
Did I hear you correctly? You're saying tier 5 top path has fire?
Yep. Here, watch. See? He shoots a flamethrower.
Sorry, put one more through?
He shoots a flamethrower.
What the? How did I never notice this? You know what? It's because I have fireworks on my wizard tower.
Oh yeah,
so I'm like,
your flamethrowers are just rapid fire fireworks. I've noticed that.
Oh, that's okay. I give this one an A as well because I didn't realize what you just said because he just shoots fireworks. I thought it was just like, oh, he gets a bunch of range and he becomes super powerful, and it's not the cheapest, but still cheaper than middle path. So I've been using top path more and more, but still an A.
Yeah. Middle path is an A for me. The Wizard Lord Phoenix. I love the permanent Phoenix on the screen. That's awesome. It basically gives the tower global range. And then the activated ability that turns him into a second Phoenix that does massive AoE damage and has an even stronger flamethrower than the regular Phoenix is just very, very cool. So he's definitely an A tier.
Agreed. I said A. For the longest time, every time I played, I would have 0-4-2 or 0-2-4 or both. And like the ability, I feel like I spam it a lot. So solid A tier.
Yeah. And then the bottom path, the super edgy edgelord. Still an S tier because I think the idea is super cool. So the Prince of Darkness summoning, reanimating Bloons into an unpopped army, which I also love that name, the unpopped. Reanimating dead Zeppelins, Moabs and BFBs. It's just a really cool idea watching the Bloons basically get hit by Bloons. Plus, I love his ridiculously massive range, which I realize now is intended to balance him a bit, because the way that the ability works is he summons the unpopped Bloons as far back onto the track as he can reach, which means on a map like this, if you position him, here at the start, then when you get to tier 4, that's fine. It's summoning the Bloons here, and they go, backwards along the path. But once you upgrade to tier 5 and his range becomes massive, he starts summoning them back here, and they time out before they even get to this loop. And suddenly he's not doing nearly as much damage.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. What is the time out for the undead Zeppelins? Is it like a couple seconds or X% of the track?
It's time-based, but I don't know what the duration is.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed on this tree stump one, because I would copy you and make the like ring of wizards that have the Bloons, but as soon as you get a Prince of Darkness, he's like making Zeppelins at the end of the track.
Yep.
So it's not as powerful, but still give him an A. This is the cheapest upgrade, and the undead Zeppelins are super helpful.
Yeah, so strong. Then we have Super Monkey, and I'm gonna have to spread these guys out a little bit so they don't, so that this guy doesn't eat the others. So Super Monkey Base, it's A tier. It's very expensive, but it's very powerful, and I don't feel. For a while at first, I felt that because the other towers were so strong, Super Monkey was kind of underpowered for its price. But I don't feel that anymore. Super Monkey is still definitely worth the 2,500. It can't pop leads or camos without upgrades, but if you buy one between round 30 and 40, you're pretty much guaranteed to clear round 40.
That is a good strat to know. Because I put B minus because, well, of what you just said, it can't hit lead, it can't hit camo. So I was like, it's very expensive and you can't hit all these like non-normal balloons. But I never get a super monkey and keep it at the base unless I forget.
Yeah.
So B minus.
So here is the worst sun god you'll ever see. So the top path tier 5 is the true sun god, and you can't make it in sandbox, but the avatar of the vengeful monkey as well, if you have the monkey knowledge. Strongest tower in the game by orders of magnitude. The strategy for late game free play is to buff this tower and weaken the balloons and nothing else. The main hurdle for late game free play is lag. So you actually build fewer towers because their damage is just pointless. This thing does all the damage you're ever going to need. It does so much more damage than anything else that their damage is a drop in the bucket compared to the HP pools of the balloons. I give it an A. It's incredibly overpowered. It's a must-have if you're going to do late game free play, but it's also kind of a pain in the ass to build.
How come you can't build the goblin? Like even if you surround it with expensive towers and upgrade it, it'll be normal.
Yeah, the monkey knowledge just doesn't trigger in sandbox.
Oh, okay. What did I give this one? Let's see. A plus. Yeah, it's hard to dislike this one. It's hard to build, and I feel like I never typically, unless I actively plan for it, I never get past tier 3, and even sometimes tier 3 is a struggle. But I appreciate this tower. A plus.
Up next is the anti-balloon. I like the noise it makes. I give it an A. I think its picture is funny. I think this is cartoonish and silly, but I appreciate it anyway. To stop it from being a super edgelord thing, they give it a really silly, cartoony picture, and I love that. The anti-balloon is very strong, and I really don't give it enough credit. Well, no. It was by far the weakest of the other upgrades. Just mind-numbingly pointless. If you were going to build a super monkey, middle path was a waste of your time. Until a recent patch where his attacks can now crit in the same way that Dart Monkey's attacks can crit. And suddenly he's on par with the other ones. So he's incredibly powerful. His ability just obliterates balloons in his radius, does massive damage, wipes out anything short of a bad, and does massive damage to a bad. Also, even if you don't give him Plasma Shot, his attacks are plasma attacks. So he can still pop leads and everything. He can't pop purple balloons, though. I don't think.
Okay, see, I did not know that. I thought, like you said earlier, the middle path was just kind of useless. Because like at least the bottom path gives you camo, right? And then the top path, obviously, you can hit uh everything.
Mm-hmm.
um, and so I was like, what is this middle path even doing here? And then I remember trying to use the middle path ability on Zeppelins, and it was probably a purple Zeppelin, so that's why it didn't work. But still, I like used it and it did nothing. I was like, well, that's useless, you know? But I didn't realize it could hit, like, because I saw, like, if you do 042, or even like 032, it has camo, right? But it's still, it looks like it's shooting darts. So I was like, this thing can't even hit leads. It's so useless. But I'm going to have to give it another try now.
Yeah,
But as it stands, D tier.
the tier 3, the Robo Monkey still fires darts unless you give it laser blasts or plasma shots. It's the tier 4 that converts it to plasma. The point, it's still best to give it laser blasts and plasma shots, and then give it, a Monkey Village for camo detection, because the laser and plasma upgrades vastly boost its piercing and popping power. But if you are constrained in what you can build, then crossing it with bottom path for the camo detection and the knockback is still pretty good, and it can still damage. That allows it to pop DDTs because it's shooting plasma. As long as you're tier 4 or above. Tier 3 still can't.
Are you seeing tier 4 or above visually? You don't see darts anymore?
Correct. Yeah, here, let me sell the Sun God. And then I'll throw in a ZOMG. You'll see he shoots plasma. Even though he doesn't have the plasma upgrade. And the tier 4 will as well.
I did not know that. I feel bad now.
But the tier 3 will still shoot darts out of his gun, which I find funny that he shoots darts out of these big fancy looking guns, and it's just darts.
Yeah, I think that I'm not a fan.
But yeah, they just have that on the screen. Yeah, I think it's definitely at an appropriate level now. It used to be just a complete waste of money, but it's definitely worth your while now.
Oh, and he can crit. I see it too. Okay, I've got sandbox pulled up now.
Yeah, the critting is what brings him on par. It's every X number of shots, and then if you give him plasma shots, it happens even faster, I think. But it's so much more damage. And then tier 5 bottom path, I forced myself to give this one A. I was gonna give it a C. But
oh, no.
the reason I was gonna give it a C was because when I first started playing Bloons, and I was streaming it and people were getting in my chat, they were fucking obsessed with bottom path Super Monkey. They were always like, get bottom path Super Monkey, get bottom path Super Monkey. Every single game I played, someone in chat was like, get bottom path Super Monkey. And I got so sick of, I hated it. I hated bottom path. I never wanted to build it because I was so tired of everyone telling me how good it was. And I didn't like that it doesn't have very good range.
Yeah, I'm like, is it that good? I don't even know what it's shooting. Bats?
It's shooting glaives, basically. They're fake batarangs. It is that good because it does way more damage than the middle path Super Monkey used to.
Okay.
It also has knockback that affects Moabs, so it slows any Moabs it's attacking, um, and just does ridiculous amounts of damage. Plus, the tier 5 has the ability where if you were going to leak Bloons, instead you don't for the next 20 seconds.
Oh, the portal thingy.
Yeah. And you don't, it doesn't trigger on life lost, it's if you would leak a Bloon, instead don't. Which I really, really like, because that's actually useful in Impoppable. So
I gave this one. Okay.
I give it an A. My heart wants to give it a C, but it deserves an A.
I said B plus. It is very expensive, but I do like it. I only ever have it 203, unless I'm like trying to get a goth sun god, which is kind of a bummer because like I feel like tier 4 is so powerful, and then tier 5 is just crazy. So
Yeah.
B plus.
Yeah, tier 4 it's tier 4 and tier 5 upgrades are kind of prohibitively expensive. I only build them when I already have so much money that I wasn't going to lose anyway.
How did you get sandbox on medium? Oh, medium sandbox right there. Thank you.
I selected medium sandbox. Up next is Ninja Monkey. I give Ninja Monkey an A. This is mostly based on Bloons Tower Defense 5, but Ninja Monkey was one of the best towers that you could put down at the start in Bloons Tower Defense 5. It's not as good as a starting, well, it is just as powerful as a starting tower in Bloons Tower Defense 6 as it was in 5. It's just that the rest of the towers got brought up to its level, so it no longer stands out as one of the best ones to put down at the beginning of the game. But it's one of the only 2 towers that detect camo by default, and I like it. I like that he throws shurikens, so he's an A for me.
What's the other one that detects camo by default? Spike Factory?
Yeah, the Spike Factory.
Which definitely makes sense because Bloons floats. What did I say? Ninja. I'll put B minus. That seems kind of harsh. B half a minus. Because I do like that it detects camo. I don't like that it can't do anything else. It's a base color, so.
Yeah. Top path is the Grandmaster Ninja. A plus, hyper fast attack speed with a spray of shurikens. And if you give him Seeking Shuriken, then it's just this like beam of metal. I really, really like it. I think he's definitely an A plus.
Then I put B3 minus? Wait, no. B minus, okay. I was like, what? Yeah, I guess B minus because like it's my second choice. Like I usually do 0 to 4, but if I'm not gonna do that, I do 4, 0, 2. Is that right? Yeah. But pretty solid, very cheap, which I like that. So B minus.
Grand Saboteur, give it a C. It's a super strong upgrade. It causes balloons to spawn damage, and he actually gets credit for those pops for the damage they take, which is really great when making the Paragon. But just is not a very fun tower to use. He has like his base attack is no better than the tier 3 monkey. Like when you go to tier 4 and tier 5, he doesn't actually get stronger, he just gets the abilities. So he's one of the weakest tier 5 towers, honestly. I like Shinobi Tactics a lot. I love stacking those around towers, around ninjas to make them stronger. but I like those in combination with the other two tier 5s because they're meaningless with this guy because he has such miserable attack by default.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and put a C as well. This is one, another one where I can't fully figure out. And I never use it as a result, so we'll see.
Basically, just spam his ability anytime it's off cooldown. It
That's
causes.
no fun.
Yeah, it's really not. It causes any Zeppelins that spawn over the duration to spawn in damaged and to move slower. So, like,
Okay.
if you activate it and then spawn a ZOMG, you wait for the cooldown to come back up. Activate and then spawn a ZOMG. That ZOMG spawns in damaged. He did 900 damage to it. You can see he got the pops for it. Which, I mean, 900 free damage is pretty nice. But then there's literally no difference between his attacks and a regular base ninja right now.
You paid for all the upgrades.
Yeah. He has Distraction, which causes Bloons to sometimes move backwards. He has Counter Espionage, which removes camo. And then he has one stack of Shinobi Tactics because he has that buff. But that's it. So there's no difference between him and a 030 monkey in terms of damage. There's no difference between him and a 000 monkey in range of the Shinobi Tactics in terms of damage.
I wonder if they'll buff Middle Path next time. Next update.
They might. They probably don't feel like he needs love though because he's being used a lot because Grand Saboteur is a good late game free play ability since it's percentage damage. So even though the health of the Moabs is scaling, it takes out a percentage of their health. And then Master Bomba, as the emote says. Master Bomber. I give him a B. He's cool and all. I like the sticky bombs. But one, is that a ninja thing? Sticky bombs? Like,
you know as much as I do.
the flash bomb I get, but the sticky bombs, I'm kind of like, that doesn't feel ninja. That feels like a military tower thing. So he just feels a little out of place for me. So that knocks him down to a B instead of an A.
I said B plus because I never get to tier 5. So bottom path is my favorite, I think. So B plus. But yeah, I'm looking at it on your stream and I'm like, if you told me that was a ninja, I'd be like, well, I can see it because he's wearing all black, but why is he glowing and has devil horns?
Yeah. Up next, everyone's favorite tower. Ask any Chimps player what their favorite tower is, and they will tell you this in a heartbeat. The Alchemist. I give it a B for it. I am thrilled to see a tower that buffs other towers that isn't the Monkey Village. I think that's super cool. I'm so confused as to why it's in Magic and not support. Because to me, this is a support tower. But I guess if we're being honest, only one of its abilities. Well, so I'll address why I think it should be supported at the end. But in terms of the base tower, I like that it's just throwing a bottle of acid at things. I like damage over time effects, and it applies a weak damage over time effect. So it's a B for me. I like it.
I said B as well. I don't know why, but like I feel like if I had to be a tower, I would be the Alchemist because throwing acid at things is kind of my right up my cowardly, stay in the back, throw everything at the wall and hope it works strat. So B.
Permanent Brew. I give it a B. It's very strong. It's a very good tower. The upgrades are very good, but it feels required. Like, it feels like a mandatory tower to get, and that kind of knocks it down a peg for me. So it's still just a B. I do like how happy he is, though, and that he's happily drinking his own brew.
I think he's drunk. I said B plus. What do you mean required?
If you're gonna do anything past round 100, you pretty much need to build one of these.
Oh, okay. Is that true of middle path? What's it called? Engineer?
Yes.
The overclock guy?
Yeah, it's kind of the same with him.
Really? Okay. I'm gonna stick with B plus because it buffs other towers. How can you say no to that? Yeah, B plus.
Middle path, total transformation. I love the aesthetic. I love the eye beams, but when all said and done, this is just Super Monkey Fan Club. So I give it a C. It is a cooler Super Monkey Fan Club that is more my aesthetic, but it's the same ability. It's literally just the same ability.
I give this one B plus plus because when I first started playing, this was the only path of the alchemist I understood. B plus plus. I do like the ability.
And then bottom path, look at that shit-eating grin. This one's a D for me. He looks cool. I love the bling. I find that hilarious. But in theory, the converting Moabs into a single red balloon sounds like such a cool, powerful idea. But in practice, it kills your income because you don't get the money from the balloon being reduced like that. You go from getting the like couple hundred gold from popping the Moab to getting 1 gold for popping the red balloon. So he obliterates your income, which kind of sucks considering he's the bottom path that boosts your income up to that point. He also, the attack throws so slowly that like, if you have him in the midst of a bunch of other towers, he gets a ton of pops. But if I'm being honest, if you sold him, those pops would just go to the other towers. I'm not sure he's actually contributing. He looks like he does a lot, but I don't think he's actually doing that much.
What more would you expect from somebody dressed like that?
Yeah, that's right on par with his outfit. So maybe it's intentional.
I said C half a plus. The only time I used this was when I was trying to get the achievement. I like the outfit. By far least used alchemist path ever.
Yeah. So the support tangent. So of the 3 paths, we have top path, which is purely buffing other towers. We have middle path, which is high damage and buffing other towers because he transforms them. And then we have bottom path, which is income generation. All of that screams support to me. So I don't know why he's under magic instead of support, except for the fact that that would mean we only have 4 magic towers, and that would be so few magic towers.
Yeah, it would be pretty hard to do magic only mode.
But that just says to me, well, I mean, we only have 4 support towers, so. But we don't have a support only mode.
Yeah. Although that, I feel like, I mean, that's probably what, 50 challenges on the challenge board.
Yeah.
So.
It just tells me that we need more magic towers. Make this guy move this guy to support, and then give us different magic towers.
I'm so down for that.
Final magic tower is my second favorite tower in the game. Was my favorite tower in Bloons Tower Defense 6 prior to the Dartling Gunner entering the game. The Druid. I love Druids in everything. Whenever I play a game, I generally want to if there's a Druid class, I want to play the Druid class. I love nature spells. I like that he has a little twig in his ear. I find that hilarious. I like that he shoots a shotgun blast of thorns. I just think the Druids are neat, and definitely A+.
I just made that connection. This is the Moonkin of this game.
Yes.
What did I say? B. Yeah, I've grown to appreciate the Druid. The design, the attacks, even just the base. I really like it. So I'll say B+.
Also, they wave at you. That's their idle animation, which is adorable.
Oh, I always thought that was like, hey, remember that I'm here, give me something to do.
Oh, I just think of it as a hi. Okay, so top path Druid is Super Storm, which used to be the top path Monkey Wizard ability. But it got removed from Wizards and added to the Druid. And I give it an A. It's a powerful ability. It's a little overpriced, but the fact that it blows back Moab significantly, it's overpriced in that I'm never going to buy this before round 100. But I think that for the power it provides, that is an appropriate cost. It just means that I never build it, basically. But I think it's a really cool design. I like his aesthetic of like the cloud cape and holding a lightning bolt. I think he's really cool.
Superstorm? Yeah, A. Up until the recent buffs, this was literally the only upgrade I did. And yeah, I'm gonna say A half a plus. Everything is getting bumped up by half for Druid. A half a plus.
Middle path, I have always loved. The thorns growing across the entire track. The fact that, like, this is technically a bad thing that it does it so slowly, but it's just cool watching the thorns grow across the track like that. And I love that they spread out in a radius around the Druid instead of following the track, so you know that they're like growing under the ground. It's just so cool. S tier, 100% my aesthetic. This nature spirit Druid creature. I like that he generates money. Not a lot of money, though he now generates like 1,000 every round, which is pretty good. I like the vines reaching up and crushing Bloons, and the fact that that got buffed is awesome. It makes them actually useful until you get this guy. And people don't give this guy enough credit. These thorns on the track do way more damage than people think they do. He's very strong. He is S tier for me.
B plus, because yeah, he got buffed recently, and I find it myself using him more and more. Is this like the entangling roots of this?
Yes.
Of this game?
Yes.
How come some are green and some are brown?
So that was one of the buffs he got, not in the most recent patch, but one before, I think. The closer the roots are to him, the more damage they deal. So the ones that are really close to him, the ones that are like directly inside his radius, have these like really, really sharp teal spikes. And then the ones that are a little bit further out have the green spikes. And the ones that are farthest out are the regular brown ones. They used to all be brown, but then he got buffs, so the ones closer do more damage.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's kind of cool. Okay.
And then Solar Rage. Avatar of Wrath was my favorite upgrade for a long time. I love this angry little guy. His tiny fury amuses me greatly.
When are we getting Solar Rage? I would use that so frequently.
He is. I love his massive attack speed. I love the clustering 5 of the tier 4s around him for even higher attack speed. I like just how all his abilities are based on anger. Like, the more lives you lose, the faster he attacks. The more balloons there are on screen, the faster he attacks. The longer he's attacking, the faster he attacks. Like, he's just...
For real?
Yeah, he is just pure berserker rage. Which, honestly, that's an aspect of druids that isn't often touched on. But, like, nature is not necessarily flowers and butterflies. Like, there's the fury of nature, Mother Nature's wrath. Like, that's what this guy is, and I like it a lot. So he's also an S tier for me.
I put B plus plus. Yeah, I think I was confused by the stacking thing, so I just didn't mess with it. But I mean, like, just because it can stack doesn't mean you can't build it without more druids to stack. And so I've been like using bottom path more and more. It's so fun. I like his outfit.
Yeah. Plus the bottom path pop lust stacking affects the other ones, so you can actually make Superstorm fire at ridiculous speeds. Stick 5 pop lust druids around him, and then give him the overclock buff, and he starts firing Superstorms at like super monkey speeds. Just like, it's a wall of tornadoes.
You said druids circling the storm guy plus overclocked. Did I hear alchemist too or no?
Yeah, you could add an alchemist. Yeah,
Okay.
to basically anything that buffs his attack speed, just to make him fire ridiculously fast. It's hilarious and very strong. It melts things. But overall, I love all 3 of their designs. These are some of the best design towers in the game, aesthetically.
I would agree with that.
That's it for Magic. We're down to 4 more towers.
And then the heroes.
Yep. Oh, banana farms are fat.
You're trying your best.
So the banana farm, give it an A. Everyone loves banana. It's annoying that you have to mouse over them, but whatever. It's free money. I like income generation, and that's what these are. So they are an A for me.
I put B, yeah, because I am terrible at mousing over them. I feel like until they get upgraded, or I put down the farmer thingy, I just am losing bananas. So B. B for banana. I'm not funny.
That's fair. Also, I like your comments for all of them. Banana Central, I give an A. I like its design. I like that it's like pumping bananas into it, and then it like pumps them all out. Because what it does is it buffs other banana research facilities, other banana farms to generate more income, in addition to also producing lots of income. So it's a cool tower. I don't build it very often though, because it's obscenely expensive and it's more money than I need most of the time. Plus, you have to mouse over it.
Yeah, I put A plus because of how much money it generates. But if I'm ever like building more than 3 of top path, not even tier 5 obviously, but I I just use a farmer guy.
Yeah.
But I like that it gives you so much, and I for a while I tried to just build instead of 203 or 4, I tried to do 420, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be better about mousing over them because it gives you so much money, you know, and it makes your game so much easier. I just lost the banana. A plus, regardless.
Monkeynomics is a C because banks are more trouble than they're worth. If you micromanage the banks and have all the monkey knowledge and use Benjamin, banks give you the most money. I'll admit it. Everyone is always screaming. When I first started playing, everyone was always screaming, "Banks give the most money. Banks give the most money." And I'm like, but they don't, because Top Path gives the most money. And that was true until I got Benjamin and all the monkey knowledge. And it was even then still true until they added the monkey knowledge where you could deposit money into banks. But at that point, when you can deposit money in the banks, banks give the most money. But it is a nightmare to micromanage. I would rather just mouse over them than deal with banks. They're just so annoying. So I never ever build banks unless I'm on a map where I can't cluster towers under a monkey farmer, but I need mass amounts of money. That's the only time I build banks, and I don't micromanage them.
What map would that be? I'm like trying to think.
Hello, Bob the Builder. Thanks for the follow. Like, oh, like the new one, the haunted house one. There's not really a good spot for banana farms on that map to like cluster them together. So banks or bottom path are the better way to go.
I follow. Okay. I put B minus. It's 1 banana, Michael. How much could it cost? $10. Yeah, I don't fully understand banks, so they get the lowest out of all the paths.
And then bottom path is Monkey Wall Street is S tier for me. Hands-free income. That's the way it should be. That's the way it was when banana farms were first introduced, and that's the way it should have stayed. I always build these. I always go bottom path just because it's so much easier.
Wait, so I remember testing this. Bottom path tier 5 versus top path tier 5, like how much do you get each time it shows like the plus dollar sign? Do you know what I'm trying to ask?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Like, you know, when you have bottom path farms built, every couple of seconds it'll say like plus 26 or something, or plus 20. And then like every time the top path spits out a crate and you mouse over it, it'll say like plus 90. I guess I'm curious what the difference in income is when you have a T5 top path versus a T5 bottom path.
Top path produces vastly more money. Per basically each crate is like 200 or 300 versus the plus 94 or 96 that the bottom path shows, the bottom path ticks more often, so you see the plus 96 more often than a crate is spat out, but it's still way more money for top path.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I figured, but I think I like tested it one day, and I was kind of astounded at the difference.
I don't really play co-op with viewers, Bob the Builder. There is a channel points redemption option if you want to do that, but regardless, I won't be playing any co-op tonight. Once we finish raiding, that'll be the end of the stream. Bye-bye bananas. Up next is the Spike Factory. I like the loud, like, metallic noise it makes when you place it. The heavy machinery sound. Spike Factory, I give it a B. It's a really cool concept. Makes no sense, as we mentioned earlier. Doesn't make a damn bit of sense. But it's a cool concept. But much like some of the other towers I've mentioned, in theory it's cool. In practice, it's not very strong. Because the spikes don't hang around permanently, they have a timed life. Basically, Dolphin Chemist explained it the best. Anytime that your Spike Factory, anytime a spike stack times out or the round ends and your spikes get cleared, those are shots that your Spike Factory missed. Essentially. Because it fired those spikes. It doesn't fire faster or more targeted when there are balloons nearby. It just consistently fires the spikes out. So any spikes that aren't used by the end of the round are technically missed shots that your Spike Factory wasn't doing anything.
Depressing. But not like I think I follow conceptually. And that's depressing.
Yeah, it seems like a really cool tower, but because of the limited lifespan of the spikes, even the permaspikes have a serious, like, permaspikes is such a lie because they only last 3 rounds.
Oh, I didn't know that. I assumed they were, permanent until
yeah.
like they got used. Yeah.
No, they only last like 3 rounds. But I can understand why they don't hang around permanently, because obviously you could just fill up the second half of the map with spike factories and clear 4 or 5 extra rounds past when you normally would have died just from the built up spikes plus the lag issue. But it, in the end, makes the spike factory not a super useful tower. I don't build these very often. I still give it a B because it's a cool idea and they look cool, but I don't usually build them.
I gave it a B because they're so nonsensical. How do they pop balloons when balloons float? And they pop camo too, right? How?
Yeah.
Just layers of nonsensical. So B.
The top path is Super Mines. You can see my flaming red pineapples. I give them a B as well. Super Mines are extremely powerful. They do a ton of damage, but they are, oh my god, overpriced. Like, there is no justification for it to cost $150,000 for this upgrade. Like, if it were instead firing the mines at the balloons from a much larger range, that would be worth the price, because the mines are really strong. But the fact that it's a spike factory and has the spike factory limitations of it's just throwing the spikes randomly within its radius, and either the balloons reach it and die or break through, or they don't reach it and it did nothing all round, it's just not worth the price. So it's a B. Also, hi Insanity, how's it going?
I put A plus strictly because of the pineapples. Prior to the pineapples, I literally never used that upgrade. I only ever used middle upgrade. Now, because of the pineapples, I only ever use top path. and I'm in denial about how good it is. I think it's way better than it is, but denial is the state I live in. So A
I
plus.
I feel like you're right in the same boat as Ninja Kiwi there. Then
Rude.
I think they are also in denial about how strong it is. Um, Carpet of Spikes is fun. It's A tier. It's not super great. I mean, I like. It's the only activated ability tower that automatically uses its ability. Which someone got into an argument with me about how it's not technically using its ability because you can also click the ability, but like its ability is to spread a spray of spikes over the track, and every few seconds it spreads a spray of spikes over the track. So it's automatically using its ability. It's just you can also then manually activate the ability. But I really like that. It makes me feel like I don't have to use the ability because it's already using it, but I can still use it as a panic button. And it's just fun. It makes a fun noise. It sounds like a slot machine or something. I love that it sprays the spikes over the track, and they're Moab Shredder spikes, so they're really good for swarms of Moabs. I think it's a really, really fun upgrade, A tier for sure.
Yeah, I put A minus. Because it technically cannot pop Bloons, is that right? Because they're not like fire or hot or something.
Yeah, you'd have to cross path it with top path.
Oh, true. Duh. Okay, but still, on their own, I do like the carpet. It's very obnoxious. So, A minus.
I do sometimes like to build just this and then swarms of the tier 4s and just constantly spam the abilities. That causes
How far
so
can
much
you get
damage.
with that?
Not to round 100.
Okay, I was gonna say.
They're too expensive and not strong enough, but it's fun. Then we have Permaspike. I'm switching that to a D. Permaspike is extremely powerful and can straight up, if you stack the spikes up, it can straight up pop bad without any trouble. But its name is a complete and total lie, and the spikes only last 3 rounds, and that gives it a D for disappointing.
Yeah, I'm gonna lower mine too. I'm gonna say C minus. I don't think I ever used this path ever. So, and I don't understand why it looks like those scooters you had in elementary school gym class, but with spikes on them, which makes them very dangerous. So, C. What did I say? C minus.
Maybe that's why it pops the balloons so well. They think it's the scooters and they dive down onto it. It's gonna take a while for those spikes to time out.
Oh, whoops.
Then we have Monkey Village. I like that it's a tower that buffs other towers. It's been a good tower since it was introduced. It's an A tier for me. I appreciate when Monkey Village originally came out, it did nothing when you put it down. You had to place it and then upgrade it for it to actually start doing anything. So the fact that now when you place it, it provides the range buff is so good. It makes it worth it to buy it by itself. And it can buff other monkey villages and increase their radius, and I like that too.
Wait, it can buff other. Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, so you see, actually, there's a fun thing you can do with them. So you've got 2 monkey villages that are just outside of each other's radius. These guys can't buff each other. Put a third one in the middle so that they can buff each other, and then sell it. And they still buff each other because they're still in range of each other.
Oh, that's a little bit trippy, but I think I follow.
I like that that works. I like when things work in the player's favor that way.
I put B plus. I'm gonna bump that up to A minus. Because just putting it down, giving range increase. I really appreciate that. Um, I've been trying to get used to using monkey villages more and more. So A minus. Did I say A plus? I meant A minus.
Next, we have primary expertise. I think this is a very cool idea. I think that it really does something that needed to be done. The primary towers fall off pretty hard in the late game until you get to their tier 5s, and this makes up for that. It increases their range, their popping power, reduces their price so you can buy more. It is the perfect band-aid to prevent primary towers from being sold once you hit round 60. The one thing I don't like is the ballista. The ballista itself is good. It's a strong attack. But in Bloons Tower Defense 5, the top path Monkey Village upgrade had a giant laser beam instead. That was really, really cool looking. And instead we get the ballista, which barely has any animation at all. The ballista is much stronger, and the primary expertise is very cool. It just doesn't look as cool. But it's still an A tier for me.
C for take it or leave it, because I don't think I've ever used this. Because I feel like I severely underuse primary towers other than Dart Monkey and Glue Gunner. So I'm like, I don't even have a need for this. Why would I use this? Why would I go top path when I can go middle path? So C, I take it or leave it.
Take a look at how much damage it does, though.
How much?
It two shots Moabs. Well, it one shots Moabs and then another shot to take out the ceramics inside. With global
That's just the
range.
tower?
Yeah, that's just the tower.
Oh, I need to use that more often.
It's extremely powerful. It actually, I kind of wish it didn't. I wish that was on a different path, though. Because when I'm making Dart Monkey or Boomerang Thrower Paragons, I want to give them the primary expertise buff, but then this tower starts eating a lot of the pops, which makes it harder to get the Paragons. So I can't. I have to build the tier 4 tower and not have them be quite as strong.
And that's just like the tower. It's not like a monkey knowledge thing or something.
The glaive, yeah, that's just the tower. It's to make it so you build the general idea is you build primary towers, and then when they start to fall off, you build this thing and build it to tier 4. And that gives you time to get some tier 5 primary towers, which then gives you time to get the tier 5 this, which is also a huge power boost.
Are you still? It cut you off, and I can't tell if it like cut you off, like if you're gone or.
Where did I cut off?
I heard it. It gives you, like you were describing. You get primary towers. You buy top path. You get to tier 4, which then gives you time. Dot dot dot.
Oh, it gives you time to build the tier 5 primaries, which then gives you time to build the tier 5 top path village. And those combined carry you through round 100.
Okay. See. Okay, yeah.
Middle path Homeland Defense. Uh, I like MIB. That's pretty much a guaranteed I'm going to build MIBs in my game. But I basically never build Homeland Defense unless I'm going into late stage free play because it is just too expensive.
Yeah, I put A plus plus solely for um MIB, right? MBI, MIB,
MIB,
IBM.
Monkey Intelligence Bureau.
Okay, Intelligence Bureau of Monkeys. That actually works. Okay. Um yeah, I put A plus plus just for that. Even in late game, I don't go past that, which I probably should, which probably explains why I don't do as well as I would like to. But I mean the middle one, because um I pretty much don't know how to defeat Black Zeppelins without it.
Oh, I'm right there with you. I
Oh,
I pick which towers I'm gonna have into the late game, and then I build an MIB next to them to deal with DDTs.
Lobo's brain, Kalphos brain.
Oh, this requires a banana farm. There we go. The Monkeyopoulos, I give an A. It's a banana farm sun god, and I find that hilarious. It eats banana farms and then produces crates based on the value of the farms that it ate. It's so incredibly powerful because it allows you to condense. I think the most I've managed to condense into it is 8, 9, 10, 11.
What?
11 banana research facilities into it,
Oh,
which then condenses it into the size of a monkey village, which you can then build more banana research facilities around. It is ungodly amounts of money. There's no reason to ever do it. You can't spend that much money, even if you try. You would just, if you built the Avatar of the Vengeful Monkey and then sold it and then kept building it it gives you so much money you could do that just every few rounds.
I did notice that. Yeah, when I did I don't even. Oh, when I was trying to build the Paragons, I did that strat, but I did not get like 10 or 11. I probably got 5 or 6.
I've only managed to get that many on um, the map that's like all primary colored triangles. I can never remember the name of it.
Oh, Cubism?
Yeah, Cubism. I've only managed to do it on that map to get 11.
I think I was on that map, but I did it wrong. But anyway, um, oh, I gotta BRB real quick to listen to a voice memo, so I'm gonna hop out, but I'll be back in like a minute.
Alrighty.
We're not healthy.
You okay?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Where did we leave off?
Uh,
I put C plus, which seems too low. I'm gonna put B plus, because agreed. It is very useful. I would utilize it more, but I feel like it's a loop of I need the money to build the IBM, and then I need the space to build the towers. But I do like it. B plus.
and the final tower.
Oh, this is not a good note to end on. Well, for the tower.
Yeah, these are an F tier.
That'd be so mean.
Engineer monkeys are just so weak. they're so underpowered. Ninja Kiwi seems to think they're fine. Other people tell me they're fine. I can't make them do anything. They're just... I don't know if it's some kind of mental block I have with them, but every time I build them, they're just so weak and useless, except for Ultra Boost, which is obnoxiously overpowered. But yeah, I don't like the Engineer Monkeys. I like their aesthetic, I like them shooting with the nail gun, but they're just too weak. F tier. Least favorite tower.
I put B minus. Because I don't seem to hate them as much as you do. And I guess maybe I don't pay enough attention to the damage. Because I build 402 and 204 pretty, maybe not every time I play, but like pretty regularly. And I don't know, they're there. Maybe this is why I'm not good at this game. So I put B minus.
Hello, Master Lord. Thanks for the follow. I don't usually play with viewers. I don't really ever play with viewers. There is a channel points redemption option below that you can use to request a game, but I will not be playing any co-op tonight. Century Paragon, which is no longer Century Paragon because people complained. It is now Century Champion. Because it wasn't a Paragon tower. D. He looks cool. His little turrets fire plasma shots. I'd really rather just have a 220 Super Monkey, to be honest. Not worth the price, not very strong. Not a fan. D.
B, solely because the tier 5 upgrade is cheap. But yeah, they should probably rename it. B.
The middle path, Ultra Boost, also a D, because the tower itself is weak and does nothing. The foam is one of the worst abilities in the entire game, because you can't rely on it for anything. If you try and rely on the foam, it won't pop all the leads and it won't reveal all the camo. So you just end up, you either have to build like 20 of these guys spread out across the map, or build something better at detecting camo and popping lead. Ultra Boost itself is obscenely strong, but also, you know, $120,000, so I literally only build it when I'm doing late game free play.
Actually gonna agree with you on that. D tier. As far as like putting stuff on the track towers go, like Alchemist or Ninja or Spike Factory, this is my least favorite. Ultra Boost is overpriced. I hate clicking on the individual towers to buff them. So I'm gonna agree and say D.
And then finally, the bottom path, Triple XL Trap. Points for being a Ghostbusters reference, that it has the trap to trap the balloons like a Ghostbusters trap. But minus points for being a garbage tower. The trap is stronger than it was in 5, but is still honestly fairly useless in the late game. And when I say late game, I mean like round 70 plus. It's just, it falls off so hard at that point. The tower itself is not very strong, and even when you get the triple XL trap, it, by the time you can afford it, the towers, the balloons that you're coming across are too strong for you to rely on it. It's just not strong enough to be worth the price.
think I'm in denial about that, so I'm gonna put B half a plus. Because it traps balloons, it gives you money technically. We're just gonna ignore how poorly and how little it does all of that. So B half a plus.
I'm actually going to exit Sandbox and just pull up the pictures of the heroes, because otherwise I would have to keep entering and exiting Sandbox for every hero.
Makes sense.
So that was all the towers. So first off, we have Quincy. I give him a B. He, much like the Dart, he is the Dart Monkey of heroes. He is a solid starting base. He scales decently. His abilities make him useful and relevant even towards round 100. I think that he's just a solid, good hero. Anyone can use him and still do well. So he's a B.
I put C because I guess take it or leave it. I never use Quincy. I guess because he's so, like you said, a starter hero. So C.
Gwendolyn, I give her a C plus. She's fun, but she's kind of weak compared to the other heroes. She can't detect camo on her own. She can't pop purple balloons. She does buff other towers to allow them to pop leads, and the buff is, thank God, finally more reliable than it used to be. You can actually depend on it. But I would really rather just have Quincy than Gwendolyn.
Yeah, I put C as well. I rarely use Gwendolyn. I do like her. Like, she has an ability where it's like a ring of fire, right? I do like that, but I never use Gwendolyn.
Also, she has a band-aid on her eyeball, which is uncomfortable to look at.
Her eyeball, okay. What? Clearly not.
And it's on both of these skins, and then it's a heart on this skin. Hello, Supermar. I told you about Chess Evolved Online. I don't know, but I'm not particularly interested. The next hero is Striker Jones. I give him a B because I like that he buffs bomb shooters and mortar towers, which are both towers that could stand to you to have that buff. So I think that he is a very good. If you like those towers, he's absolutely going to become your favorite hero. If you don't like those towers, you're not missing anything not using him.
Yeah, I put B minus. I really want to get the top skin, the undersea one. Don't have it yet, and I do like the buffs. And I mean, I could use a mortar. I would or grenade launcher. That's what he's holding.
I think it's a bazooka.
Bazooka, yes. If I could use one of those, I would.
Oben is A tier for me. He's the same as Striker Jones, except for druids, so that bumps him up to A tier. He buffs all magic monkeys, but he double buffs druids. He was my favorite hero for a very long time, pretty much until I came across Azili. I like his design. He's one of the few heroes where I like all three of his skins. I think he's a very, very good hero for anyone to use, and is especially good for anyone who likes magic monkeys.
This is gonna be my first S tier. Yeah. I don't know. For the longest time, I think probably before Etienne came out, and before Sai came out, and before Benjamin Sushi skin, so a long time ago. I pretty much only used Oben, so S tier.
Sai, I give an A because Sai is very cool idea. and at level 20, obscenely powerful. But Psy is a struggle to use because they they don't get the ability to pop leads until right in time for round 28, but only if you have all the monkey knowledge so that they start at level 3, and only if you're in single player. And then they don't get the ability to pop Moabs until you're fighting ZOMGs, for crying out loud. And then they don't get the ability to pop BFBs until you're fighting DDTs. And they don't hit level 20 before you get your first bad. And they can never, ever, ever damage or affect a bad in any way. Even at level 20, they cannot do anything to a bad. And that is a huge failing to me, that they can't affect a bad at all.
Even if you put them in range of an IVM?
Correct. Their standard attack is too strong to have it affect a bad, because their standard attack is grab the balloon and the balloon dies. So that'd be too strong for a bad.
Yes.
But they don't have anything else, so they literally just can't affect bads at all. If they would change it so that Psy had like a bad only direct attack, or when they try and use their attack on a bad it just does damage, that would totally fix that problem for me. But as it stands, they can't do anything to a bad.
Oh, I get what you mean. Like something like similar to Azili's curse ability, where like if you activate the ability, it just focuses on the bad and does damage, but like not take it out.
Yeah.
I put a half a plus because map wide range. That's something I can understand. I think it's the only hero with that. Is that accurate?
The only hero with map wide range. Yes, until Etienne hits level 20.
Oh, touche. Okay.
But for levels 1 through 19, yeah, they're the only hero with map wide range. Let's not discount those first 19 levels.
Okay, yeah, just solely for that, a half a plus.
Up next is Captain Churchill. The sun god fights on the side with the best artillery. A plus, super strong, solid hero, very good. I think he's very cute, sticking his head grumpily out of his tank like that. I just really like Churchill. I like his aesthetic, I like his lines, I like his attacks. He's very strong and very fun. A plus.
Yeah, a plus. He looks very stuck, because if you look at the proportion of his head to the tank,
yeah,
he probably shouldn't be able to fit in there, and that's why he's grumpy. But he's so good. A plus plus.
Benjamin is A tier. What I'm about to say, I mean in the nicest way possible. Benjamin is the best hero for new players because he is easy to purchase in game. He's 1200 gold, so you can't buy him right off the bat, but it's very easy to save up for him. And then he provides so much income that it makes the game so much easier for new players. Now, that's not to say that he's not good for advanced players too. It's just that if anyone were to come to me and say, I'm struggling with Bloons, which hero should I use? I would immediately say Benjamin. Benjamin is the hero you should be using.
I guess I should use Benjamin more often. I put a half a plus because, literally because of the sushi skin. Because he throws, I think you told me, right? He throws pufferfish.
Yeah.
So good.
Also, anyone who's been paying attention might notice that this is the only skin I have not purchased, and it's not because I don't have the money. Azili is S tier. She was my favorite before Sada. I love her aesthetic. I love her lines and the way her voice sounds. That's actually why I don't use the cat skin, because she doesn't have the voice effect. The cat skin is very cute, but it doesn't have the cool voice effect. Azili is also the only hero who can solo a bad. At level 20, her Moab Hex can affect a bad and will pop a bad on round 100. Um, so I think she's really, really cool. Definitely S tier.
It seems mean. I'll go B minus. I don't use the Zealy that often, but I like the hex ability. It's fun.
Yeah. And feel free to be mean, because I'm about to be mean.
Can I go first then?
God, I selected. I heard his voice. Oh no. Yeah, you can go first this time.
I put fat Pussy. Help me. Pat Pussy as S plus tier. I don't actually think that. My favorite hero is probably Open. But he's just like a big ape and he's like brute force punching the balloons. Like that would be me if I were a hero. And I like his ability where he takes the Zeppelin and just like squeezes the life out of them. Because again, that's all I would know how to do. So S plus solely for the memes. Let's be real. And Claire, I turn it over to you.
Conversely, I give him a giant F. F for Fusty. But again, kind of for the memes. Because if I'm being honest, I also like that he's brute force punching and slapping the balloons, and I like his squeezing the Zeppelin till it pops ability. But I cannot stand his voice. Oh my god, I can't stand it. I have to use the snowman skin because I hate the artificially deep, stupid guy voice that they've given him. I hate that voice so much, and I hate listening to it. Big does not mean stupid, and I am tired of that trope. And that's essentially what Pat Fusty is big, stupid monkey.
You know, I've never heard... And one, I take that back. I probably have heard his voice because you've probably told me this before, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna look at it. It's probably not that bad. It probably was that bad, and I just like, blocked it out of my memory.
That's exactly what happened. You were like, oh, it's not that bad. Then you listened to it, you came back and like, yeah, no, it's that bad.
Yeah. So I mean, 99% of the time I play without sound, so it's not an issue for me.
Up next is Adora, who is A+, bordering on S. I like Adora more every time I use her, basically. When she first came out, I was like, oh, she's really cool, but she kind of falls off in the late game. But now that I actually know what the fuck I'm doing when playing, and I know how to position her and use her abilities properly, she's obscenely powerful, and the fact that she transforms with the Sun God and the Avatar of the Vengeful Monkey is so freaking cool. So definitely A+, very cool hero. I like her a lot. Praise the sun.
I'm gonna change mine to B half a plus. I will admit, when I first started, I confused Adora and Azili because they're kind of similar, right? They're like feminine and use magic-ish attacks.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I like Adora because she's got the laser beam ability, which I like a little bit more than the hex ability. So B half a plus, right? Yeah, half a plus.
Yeah, the ball of light ability is so cool. The ball that shoots the laser beam, I really, really like it.
Yes.
That's very similar to the laser beam that the Bloons Star Defense 5 Monkey Village used to have. So, very, very cool. Then we have Admiral Brickle, and I feel a little bad about this, but C+. I love the idea of a boat-based hero, but she's kind of underpowered. Kind of like with Gwendolyn, she's just not very strong. She doesn't do very well in the late game. She honestly doesn't do super well in the early game. A lot of her power comes from the mines that she lays in the water, and those have a tendency to all get used on the first balloon that shows up. So she ends up it looks like she's stacking a lot of power, spitting all the mines into the water, and then one balloon comes up and half the mines blow up on it, and it's like, well, I guess I didn't actually have that much power, did I?
Yeah, I put C. I'm gonna say C half a plus. Because on Spice Islands, the bomb ability has saved me many times because I'm not that good. But even on water towers, with the introduction of Psy, I use Psy way more. So C half a plus.
Yeah, I would rather use Psy than Brickle most of the time. Um, Etienne is an A. He's very cute. I like his drones. The all-seeing drone sees all. That's my comment. I love the global camo detection, and he's French, and I like that. I think that he is a tricky hero to get used to because he's a little weak in the early and mid game. Most of his benefit comes from giving global camo detection and using his abilities. So if you're just counting on him to do like his base damage, he's weaker than even Quincy. But in the late game, using his abilities, and once you get into level 20, he's incredibly powerful. And it's worth it for the global camo detection regardless.
I have noticed when I use Etienne and like Impoppable or going past the 100, once he gets to 20, he's like almost always at the top of the like monkey star or whatever, that when it shows you the whoever has the most. And it's solely because of the plane that flies around. So I gave him a B plus plus plus. I really like the alien skin.
Yeah, the ETN. I mean, he basically becomes a Spectre when he gets that permanent UCAV.
Yes.
And then Sada, number 1 top tier S hero, S rank hero. Favorite hero by far now. She is extremely overpowered, and even after the nerf they did, which was very much not much of a nerf, she is by far the strongest hero, in my opinion. She can solo most easy maps until round 20, until round 30, because her leaping sword attack can take out leads, so you can beat round 28 using just that. So I don't usually build anything to pop leads until round 30.
You have to time it right?
For round 28, you don't have to time it. You just have to hit it once the round starts.
Okay.
On certain maps, you can clear round 30 if you time it to where the track overlaps, but most of the time it's not worth trying to do that. You're better off just building like a 1-0-0 sniper.
I would say B plus.
Blasphemy.
Well, it's revenge for Pat Leslie. No, I'm kidding. B plus. And unfortunately, with that, I do have to hop off. We're gonna order Domino's and eat dinner. But TY for yet another tier stream. The next one's gonna be next month. I don't remember if we decided what it's gonna be.
Yeah, I don't know if we decided anything either. We'll have to figure it out.
Okay. I was almost like, you know what we could do? Pokemon. Derp.
I was gonna say, I think it was something Pokemon related. I mean,
Kale lost half a brain. Yeah, when I get the emote, I'm just gonna like cut it in half and upload that to my Discord. That'll be more accurate. But TY, and
yeah.
I will talk to you later.
Alrighty, see ya. And that is going to do it for the stream. So thanks everyone for hanging out. Next month we will be doing another tier stream. We aren't sure what it's going to be on. It may indeed be Pokemon related. I don't know. It might be like gym leaders or something. But till then, thanks again for hanging out and have a good night.